What up? What up? What up?
What up?
A2HH Live. We got Coop in the building. Mike D over here. Um, yeah, man. Happy Wednesday. Y'all know how we do every Wednesday. We got a really great show for everybody. Got a lot of dope music coming up Friday, but we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about some previews of that. We're gonna talk about a little bit of this Kanye doc that I actually snuck and saw episode 2. The episode 2 is out now, but probably gonna talk a little bit more about it in detail on Friday because I don't think Coop's seen it yet. And we are gonna do that mock versus, man. We are gonna do the Just Blaze and Havoc mock versus. I got Just Blaze. Coop has Havoc as promised. We're gonna get into that today. What up to everybody in the room? Shout out Terminator 2. Shout out to DeCarlo, Sophia S. Excuse me. Coop, how you doing today, brother?
You know, you just sent me this list of your Just Blaze picks as we're going on live. This is a really good list, Mike.
You know.
I mean, I think I'm still about to beat you, maybe, but I mean, it's a good list. Okay. But no, I'm doing good. I'm blessed. My favorite.
Yes, man. It's been a lot going on in hip hop, been a lot going on in our comment section as it pertains to talking about hip hop. We have deterred some Kendrick Lamar fans. You know, again, I want people to be clear. We are here to talk about hip hop and talk about what's going on in hip hop. And if Kendrick is absent, that is something to talk about. And I can honestly say, and we were on the phone talking about this the other day, I don't think I've ever seen anyone in their prime in hip hop take a 5-year break. Have you ever seen that?
No, the two references that get made are specifically toward Rakim and Nas. And you could make the argument that Rakim is still in his prime, but it's the tail end, and Don't Sweat the Technique is definitely not its predecessors. It's not as strong as the 3 previous albums. And at the point where Nas took a 5-year break, I mean, it'd been probably 5 years removed from being considered in his prime. He took the 5-year break. So,
well, all right, let's put all of this in context, right? Like, I think, at least for me, with the Rakim that you're speaking about, those are Eric B. and Rakim albums. And so Don't Sweat the Technique dropped in 92. Eric B. and Rakim broke up. Rakim has to navigate through a whole new industry, get a whole new record contract, whole new management, everything. So I kind of don't really count the Rakim thing. His group broke up. And we're talking about 92 to 97, respectfully, right? And I think we view Eric B. and Rakim as something different. Now, Nas's 5-year break, when was that exactly?
I think they're talking about the gap between Life is Good and Nas.
Okay. Now, if we're talking about that gap, what number album was Nas on Life is Good?
I think at the time that was probably like 9 or 10, something like that.
Was it? Even counting the compilations and everything?
I mean, Illmatic, it was written. I Am, Nostradamus, Godson, Lost Tapes, Stillmatic, Distant Relatives, Streets Disciple. The End album is 10. So that was probably about album number 11. Life is Good is like album 11.
11 or 12 if you want to count the Firm, right?
Oh God!
And if you want to count Queensbridge, whatever, you know what I'm saying. So this ain't the same. You know what I mean? Like that's not the same.
He was way. That's what I mean. Like Nas was so heavy off into it when he took a break. It was like, how about this? His break was possibly thought of as a retirement. That's how far off into it.
I mean, at that point, you know, after Nas made Life is Good, none of us were expecting any more albums from him. Anything else was just extra. Like it's whatever. At this point. And I felt the same way about the Rakim thing, right? Like, I think after Don't Sweat the Technique and Eric B. and Rakim broke up, if we got another Rakim album, great. If not, you know what I'm saying, I think we didn't really expect it after the Nas's, the Biggies, Pac started to emerge, Jay came around. We really didn't expect another Rakim album. So saying all that to say, this break that Kendrick's on, I don't think it's something that we can just, sneeze at. This is something that is unprecedented, really, in hip hop. No one's taking a break like this, especially in their prime. I think one of the bigger breaks, and I think it was a mistake as well, when Method Man took a break from Tikal to Tikal 2000. But he still had all those Wu-Tang albums in the middle. He still had Wu-Tang Forever in the middle of that. I think that Method Man needed a hip-hop album in 1996. I think Method Man needed an album in 96, in my opinion.
So here's what, did you say the Cow came out in 94, right?
Yeah.
T2 came out in what, 98? That's 98, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 years?
Yeah.
4 years?
Still 4, but yeah, it's not 5.
Do you know that most of Method Man's legacy as an MC was actually cemented in that gap that you're talking about?
You're right. No, I agree. So it's not even, this ain't even the same.
Without an album.
Without an album.
Without an album from 94 to 98, that's actually when most of his legacy is cemented. Because
I mean, how high is 96?
Liquid Swords.
Yeah.
Boxing, the Purple Tape, Ice Cream, Wu Gambinos.
Mm-hmm. His work on Wu-Tang Forever.
No. Both remixes to I'll Be There For You. That's 95.
So I want to read the comment if you don't mind.
Please do.
All right. So the comment was left in our comment section when Coop went on his epic rant about Kendrick Lamar.
The long comment that you posted.
Yeah. So
I was meaning to go in there. I didn't have time.
So the gentleman named Info, gentleman or gentlewoman, I'm not sure, Kendrick Lamar has 2 Grammys, a key to his city and a Pulitzer Prize just by doing what he do. And all you guys have is 5,000 subscribers. Y'all should seriously leave Kendrick alone and start thinking about how to get your numbers up, bro. At the end of the day, people love Kendrick, even if he drops in 10-year intervals. At the end of the day, the people judge. Go sit down with your 10,000 looking ass. K-Dot is GOAT, period. All right, so I love it, man. Listen, man, obviously we have gotten under people's skin when it comes to this.
I hadn't read it, Mike. I hadn't read it in full. I just saw that you posted it.
Look, Kendrick's absence and talking about it is clearly a sensitive subject to Kendrick Lamar fans. I get that. But the reality is the reality. Again, we haven't seen a break like this. And I do want to say something too, man. When we talk about these awards and, people being crowned, whatever, from institutions, whether that be the Grammys, whether that be Pulitzer Prize. I mean, I don't want to sit here and act like that's nothing, but at the end of the day, what is it really, right? These awards weren't given to an Illmatic. They weren't given to a college dropout or whatever. So it's like, you got to kind of take them with a grain of salt. That really doesn't mean anything when it comes to hip hop. And I think that's the great thing about hip hop, right? The people are the voice. Whether those people are in the barbershop with 4 or 5 or 6 people, or a channel with 5,000 subscribers, or a channel with 500,000 subscribers. If the people are saying what they're saying and they're valid points, it is what it is. I think that Kendrick fans they're afraid. They're afraid that he might really be losing his grip like we're alluding to. And JD Free says, K-Dot is not that guy anymore. How can he be? It's been missing for 5 years. Y'all tell me somebody in hip hop that was missing for 5 years and was still that guy.
To be honest with you, sometimes when people try to defend somebody, they kind of make the point for you. So everything that he's saying about what Kendrick's done, I guess the person that's in rebuttal to my rant, everything that they're saying is solid, and those are all very valid and reputable accomplishments that Kendrick should be proud of. But what we're trying to say is that, and this is why I do think the Rakim comparison is valid and why I do bring it up. Mike, when Rakim left, he was considered to be not only the greatest MC in the game, but the greatest MC of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that again. When he left, he was not only considered to be the greatest MC at the time, but the greatest MC of all time. And so I want everybody to understand that when Kendrick left, nobody was saying he was the greatest MC of all time. And Rakim came back to Jay-Z, Nas, and Tupac, and Big, and Wu-Tang, and Redman, and Outkast, and Lauryn Hill. You feel what I am saying? And so it didn't hit the same when he came out in 97, even though, like I'm going to keep on saying, there's plenty of evidence that, yeah, that guy is the greatest MC of all time on the 18th letter. It's been a long time, evidence.
You know what?
The saga begins, big evidence.
You know what? I and not to cut you off, but I think that what you're saying is even more valid, and I can actually reflect it to my own life because, you know, I'm an old nigga now, right? In 97, I was in like 9th grade. So, and we're talking about we're talking about this 5-year difference still, right? 92 to 97. Rakim was a whole new person to me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have much knowledge of what Rakim had done before, especially with, you know, Don't Sweat the Technique being the last. I might have heard the song, but I was introduced to a whole new rap game. Mm-hmm. And so that lets you know in context how far that 5 years is. I mean, your daughter's in 9th grade, right?
Correct.
So yeah, it's the same thing for her, I would imagine. Like, I mean, she might be more into hip hop because hip hop is a lot more global in her era than it was when we were growing up. But yeah, I mean, does she remember Damn like that? Like, what's her memories of K. Dot and his dominance? Because it's the same time frames, you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing about it. Is like, you know, she knows who he is, but I think for her generation, J. Cole resonates more.
He's active.
He's active.
It's what it is. And you know what?
She knows who Kendrick is, but she knows Cole's music more.
And like, see, growing up, I know KRS's music more because he was active.
Hold on, how about this? She knows Nas more than she actually knows both of them right now, which is crazy to me because he came out when I was in 7th grade. And my daughter is in 9th grade, and she knows him very, very well because of this run he's been on the last few years. Because if you think about it, the ages of 12 to 15, which has been the last 3 years of her life, is usually when you start look at the run he's been on the last 3 years. So it's like, yeah, it's like she knows who Nas is almost as well as I do, but like she knows a totally different guy.
LP brought up a really good point in the chat. He said that it's easier to listen to the old stuff now, though, Mike. You're right. You know what I mean? Like, back then, all we had was what was in front of our faces, what was on BET, what was on MTV, what was on the radio. And if they no longer had Rakim in rotation, then you probably weren't going to hear it. I think Know the Ledge kind of stuck with me. I remember that. But again, when Rakim was coming back, everybody was like, the God's coming back, this and that. And I was being reintroduced to Rakim as, 97 as a 14, 15-year-old or whatever. And and so and I remember when that Guess Who's Back came out, and I was like, this is the guy that everybody's talking about. So I mean, I'm saying all that to say, but 5 years is a long time in hip hop.
Let's unpack a couple of things. As somebody who was acquainted with Rakim, because I'm a few years older than you, you know what I'm saying? So hold on. So when the 18th letter is coming out, that's 97. So what did you say? You're in 9th grade?
Yeah, I was in 9th grade in 97, yeah.
Okay, so that's my 11th grade. 97 going into 98? Is that your... Okay, right. So this is my 11th grade.
No. You know what? I think I might have been in
8th grade.
Yeah, because when Pac died, I was in 9th grade. I was 96 to 97. And then 97 going into 98 was my 10th grade. Yes, I might have been in 10th, and you were in 11.
Okay.
Something like that.
That seems about right. But here's what I'm saying. If you knew Rakim's catalog, even them as a teenager, you didn't like Guess Who's Back because you knew that wasn't an accurate representation of the greatest MC of all time.
Yeah.
So when you heard It's Been a Long Time and the saga begins in New York, you're like, there we go.
Yeah, no. I eventually got it. But I'm just saying off of that first glance, and it lets you know how long 5 years is in hip hop.
Right, because think about this. This is going on with the guy that everybody feels like is the greatest MC of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people are looking at us like we're tripping, it's like, no, like maybe you weren't there or maybe you just don't understand. But it's like the greatest MC of all time, once upon a time, took a 5-year break and came back and dropped a single. And Guess Who's Back is a dope song, but it's not a reflection of how great Rakim is. And it wouldn't get played in the verses, in my opinion, because it's not one of his 20 best songs, correct?
No, correct. I wouldn't even think to play it.
The saga begins, and It's Been a Long Time would get played, wouldn't it, Mike?
Possibly. I mean, he has a very deep catalog, so yeah.
Saga Begins is getting played. I think that's one of Pete Rock's best beats, Mike.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just think about a 10-year-old to a 15-year-old, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that 5 years, makes a big difference, especially when you're coming off of an album that was so highly regarded. And, and not even just an album, a 4-album run that was highly regarded. All right, we were going to talk about Damn in that reference too, right? And we were just talking about Rakim and, Eric B. and Rakim breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
Is Damn that strong where people feel like, you can just leave on that and boom, this is the trump card. Nothing is beating that. Have we had albums since Damn dropped in hip hop that are better than that album and that make you forget about that album?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't play Damn like that, I told you. And it's not like a knock the Damn. It's just like, Mike, I've been on an Alfredo kick the last 2 days. I've been playing Alfredo, I told you. The kick, when we was talking about it, Mike, behind the scenes, and I was like, you like this better than Damn? And you were like, no, I like Damn better. I was like, man, Alfredo better than Damn to me. And I meant that. And it made me play Alfredo. I've been playing Alfredo for the last 2 days. I think Alfredo's better than Damn. I think Pray for Paris is better than Damn. I think Magic is better than Damn. I think KD2 is better than Damn.
That's what you asked me in the
That's if Magic and KD2 is better.
And I want to ask the people in the chat. What is the better album between Damn and Magic, or what is the better album between KD2 and Damn? If you're putting those 3 albums in order, from greatest to least, where are you putting Damn?
On its best day, it's going to end up in the middle, probably. That's what I'm saying.
Because what I want to do is, I think that Damn was the album of the year for 2017, right?
Right.
So let's put Damn up against the albums that were album of the year contenders and album of the year in the years after that. So like 2018, we're dealing with Daytona, we're dealing with Victory Lap, you're dealing with Astro World, right? I remember 18 being a very deep year.
My guy Keith just hit me, and my guy Keith just hit me. Keith is from the Virgin Islands and from the Bronx. They used to live down here.
Mm-hmm.
My wife used to do music with me, but he lives in Seattle now, and he just texted me and said, Atlanta is not Atlanta.
Atlanta is not Atlanta. We're going to get to that, too. Okay, so this is what people have said in the chat. Terminator 2 says Magic, KD2, then Damn. LP says KD2, Damn, then Magic. Mike 100 says Magic and KD, then Damn.
Told you, best case in the middle.
Then I see Damn is better than Magic. Jack777 says Damn is definitely better than Magic and KD2. Damn is better than KD2, but not Magic. That's what DeCarlo said. Book of Ryan also came out in 2018. Okay. To address those, when I was on the phone with Coop, I said that I thought Damn was better than KD2 and Magic. I did say that.
No, I agree.
And Coop disagrees.
I do.
And we can look at that. Because
hold on, because the highlights on Damn on both KD2 and on Magic, I can cancel out your highlights. And when things start, and this is what I'm saying, and this is where things really get objective and come down to preference. Oh, Mike, when it starts getting tight, I start thinking about, well, who's the better MC?
I ain't gonna lie, man. Kendrick got busy on Damn.
Not like Nas did on Magic. Like Kendrick, how about this? Lyrically, Kendrick got busy on Damn more than Nas does on KD2, but not on Magic. Mike, I can cancel out Kendrick's lyrical performances on Damn on Magic. You want to go?
I definitively said that Damn was better than KD2, and I like KD2 a lot. But Magic made me, that was a slow answer. I'm not quite sure. Don Gollery says Magic is better than Damn. Daytona's close.
Mike, Daytona's better than Damn too. You know how I feel about Daytona. Daytona's better than Damn too. I'm sorry.
You know how I feel about Daytona. Daytona's better than Damn.
Yeah.
But I know what everyone's gonna say. It's 7 songs. It's like 30 minutes, whatever. Daytona is epic. I was gonna get to, I guess we should get to Daytona. We're talking about 2018. Daytona and the work. Huh? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nope, you go ahead.
I was going to say the work that Pusha T and Kanye West. I was just
wondering which year we were working in. Are we going 18 to 20?
Let's go 18 up.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to know.
Let's go 18 up. The work that Kanye West and Pusha T put together on Daytona is epic. And especially during the time when we thought that, I know as many times people thought Kanye lost his mind, but the things that Kanye was going through during that time period, the TMZ interview, the Charlemagne the God interview, the MAGA hat, and he produced these records. And honestly, they came off very uncharacteristic of Kanye's production style too. And they perfectly fit Pusha. And bar for bar, Pusha is killing everything on Daytona. Not to mention the one feature that Kanye had on there with What Would Meek Do is one of his best verses ever. Rick Ross came through on hard piano, incredible appearance there, and then Pusha killed it as well. Santeria is chilling. He came with Infrared, and man, the bars on Infrared that woke Drake up to the point where he felt like he had to say something. I mean, Daytona's epic. You can say whatever you want about it being 7 songs, but the impact of that shit is still standing and lasting. And we're gonna get to Pusha T in a minute. I don't like Pusha talking about all this stuff about this album, and I mean Daytona's a tough one to follow up. That's just real.
Some things. Yeah, no, we're gonna get into some things because I think people are gonna be surprised today at some of the stances and takes that we're about to actually say, possibly. But before we do all of that, let's run down this album stuff with Damn, because let's go ahead and speak to it. Like, first of all, there's nothing on Damn that culturally resonates like If You Know, You Know does on Daytona. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Is there anything production-wise on Damn that is superior to Daytona?
No, it's not.
Is there anything lyrically outside of feel and element on Damn that's superior to Daytona?
Some would say.
I'm asking questions.
Some would say the last song. No. Some would say the last song. Duckworth.
No. Duckworth is like a Nas, Biggie, like Scarface, Ghostface, like Slick Rick, all time. Yeah, like if you want to say Duckworth on an all time, just like MC level, where it's like a MC like hits you with something. When you like, how about this? I love Duckworth, but part of why I love Duckworth is because the context of Duckworth, like the story is great, but what's really the greatest part about the story to me is the fact that he held it till this long before he told the story on record, which makes me not really know how great the record really is live.
I want to acknowledge some people in the chat. Their name is some good records. Lust and Fear.
Huh?
Lust and Fear. Yes. The third verse on Fear. Yeah,
hard piano. What would Meek do?
Well, see, I think now we're having a content discussion for some. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's where what Pusha T does so well, it gets limitized. If that's a word, y'all know what I mean. It gets limitized by his lack of content. And when somebody like Kendrick goes through and does something like Fear or Lust, it just hits on a different level. Now, I will give the people that. I agree with that. I think that there are some outstanding moments on Damn. I just think that, I don't know, man, it just Daytona just let me
be honest and let me be fair. As somebody that thinks Nas is the greatest MC of all time, and that is a big Rakim fan, and usually has Rakim at number 2, and usually has Tupac at number 3. I'm obviously pretty content heavy.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm going to submit to you is, even if you want to say that Kendrick is better lyrically than Pusha T on Damn, and the content is the deciding factor, well, let me give you that. But let me give you something like, I don't know, The Diary by Scarface. Now, Mike, The Diary by Scarface isn't some lyrical tour de force, but it's better than almost every lyrical album that came out that year, with the exception of like the infamous of the Purple Tape, because sometimes it's about embodying something and making you feel something. And so like Push is embodying something, making you feel something. The production's better. It's not like lyrically, he's not, even if you feel like Kendrick's better, it's not like Push is not in the same realm. It's not like Kendrick is somewhere that Pusha can't go as an MC lyrically. That's not going on Daytona. And so if what you have to lean on is the lyrics, and I got you everywhere else, then that means Daytona's better.
Well, one thing I will say that Kendrick did very, very well on Damn, I think Damn is probably his best end-to-end song-making album. Like, he embodied his ability to make songs. And if we want to talk about an area where To Pimp a Butterfly isn't that strong, it's in that area where it's put together very well on the production end, creatively, conceptually, but being able to make those songs where you could go in and go out and people resonate with them, I think the best job he did with that was on Damn. Because he kind of found, I don't want to say he found his sound, but yeah, in a way, if we want to sit here and pinpoint what Kendrick's sound is, I think we got a glimpse of that on a lot of stuff on Section 80. And I think he doubled down on that on Damn.
Getting kind of technical.
I know, yeah. But you know what? When it comes to people like Kendrick and Eminem, you kind of have to get technical, it seems like.
Right.
And again, with people like Pusha T, you don't have to get technical. You just press play and you bobbing your head. And you sitting here like, the bust down, what do you say, lower levels where you settle at. I'm the pot calling the kettle black. Where's no dumb peddling at between God and where the devil's at. Had the double dutch and double back. And hopscotch to where the trouble's at. Exactly what the game's been missing. You don't have to get nerdy on that shit. Like, it's just,
Serve.
So, I mean, listen, for me, it's Daytona. But I want to give Damn all of its props, too. I don't want to sound like we're just the Kendrick hating machine.
No, it's a valid argument in conversation. It's just the answer is Daytona. I didn't say it wasn't valid. It's not like it's not close.
LP says, Damn, 7 best records versus Daytona. Who wins? See, the reason I don't like doing that is because if we did that when it was written in Illmatic, it would be a much closer conversation.
I mean, to be honest with you, even if you were to do that, it's like, I'm okay with that. You understand that?
I'm okay with that too, actually. But I'm just saying, I don't like doing that, What about Victory Lap?
Because how about this? I think Damn is better than Victory Lap, but not by much.
Which one means more culturally?
Victory Lap. But that's,
yeah.
You're dealing with posthumous situations too, so.
It's true. That's true. What about Astro World?
Right there. That's what I mean. Like Kendrick lyrically is better than all these albums, but that's what I keep saying. It's just like, what are you listening to though?
I'm listening to Astro World first. I'm sorry. World, right? I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm listening to Astro World.
Me too.
5 times out of that 6.
And
I have been.
And I'm the one that loves the MCs, Mike. That's what I'm saying. It's like, no, I love the MC and the craft, the MC, and play Astro World and Daytona over there.
But see, this is the thing, Coop. It's been since 2017, right? And I want to go back to LP's point earlier. We have access to everything now. So all music is super accessible. When I get in my car, man, I can't tell you the last time I put on Damn. But I can tell you the last time I put on Astro World, and I want to hear Stargazing in the morning to get going. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because you need to hear Stargazing. There's something on that project. You're like, let me hear that. I'm the same way. Sometimes I'm like, it's not even Daytona. It's like, I need to hear what would Meek do. And then it's like, you want to know, let me hear Daytona.
Yeah, I mean, it happens that way. You know, another album that does me like that too, man, is Project Pat, Mr. Don't Play. Like, if I end up playing, like, We Could Get Gangsta or whatever, I end up playing the whole album. But there's nothing on Damn that makes me like, yo, I got to go hear this song and, you know, to get my day going, at least. Or to even chill. Like, I don't know, man. And again, it's very difficult because on a technical level, I think Damn is an impressive project.
No,
I could see it being great in its era.
Great.
Like, it is what it is. Yeah.
It is great. I'm not saying that it's not great. What I'm saying is that these are the albums that I think are greater that have come out since it came out. Daytona, Astroworld, KD2, Magic, Alfredo, Pray for Paris.
Are we out of 2018 yet?
No, I mean, I think we are now because
there's nothing in 2019 that's better than Damn.
No,
I don't think.
No, we're not having that conversation.
So now we're gonna go to 2020, and now that's when you get Pray for Paris in the building.
Next,
I think Pray for Paris is better than Damn, and I know for a lot of people that might be difficult to see because again, it sounds like we're saying that West Side Gun is on a rapping level like Kendrick, and that's not the case. Like. Talking about the album. Alfredo.
Love Alfredo. Hey, you want to know what? The last couple of days I've realized that if I could go back, I would put Alfredo ahead of From a King to a God, and I would move From a King to a God down to number 3 on our 2020 Album of the Year list.
I'm not mad at that. I kind of feel that way too.
And I would put Alfredo at number 2 right after Pray for Paris. And then I would move From a King to a God down to number 3, which, by the way, Mike, was clearly the best MC and lyrical performance that year. But I would put the album at number 3 now, even reflecting on it 2 years later, because Alfredo and Pray for Paris just hold up better.
Don says Pray for Paris.
How super lyrical miracle you are.
Don says Pray for Paris isn't better than Damn. This is the thing, man. And it's like, I understand that.
No. Let's pull the records out. Aren't they about?
Are we going to pull the records out?
Yep.
You pull out Pray for Paris. I'll pull out Damn real quick.
Victory.
You got it?
It won't take long. Trust me.
Okay. Because, yeah, we got 14 tracks here. I think Pray for Paris is a little bit more than that, right?
13.
Okay.
It's got the 400 million plus tax, so it's 12 actual songs.
Okay, 12 actual songs. All right, I'm going to start with DNA.
Okay. DNA is better than No Vacancy, but I love No Vacancy.
Okay. So that's one for Kendrick?
Yeah. What's next?
All right, we got
George Bonda.
Well, that's not even a conversation.
It's tied 1-1.
Element.
327 with Tyler and Joey Badass. I'm going Element.
You going Element? I was going to go the other way.
Really?
I was.
What do the people say?
Yeah, what's the
Because I think Element might be the best overall mic performance end to end, even though Feel has the best verse on the album.
What do y'all think? What's the better song, Kendrick Lamar, Element, or West Side Gun 327?
Tyler and Joey pairing was nice though.
It was. I liked it a lot, man.
I kind of want to change my mind actually live now that we're saying it. Like,
nah, man, shit was dope, man. I swear Paris should be prayed for. I don't know, man. I'm going with 327, man.
I'm gonna change Mike. I'm changing my mind live. I'm going for 327 too. The people going to have to say something.
Well, people are saying Element. The Truist says Element.
Okay.
Jack 777 says Element. The Internet Artist Repertoire says Element. Okay, we'll go with Element.
We're giving it to Element. Okay.
French
Toast versus Feel. That's still Feel, even though I love French Toast.
Okay.
Right?
Yep. Loyalty.
I like Eurostep more than Loyalty, but that's on some rap shit. What say you?
I gotta go with Loyalty on that one.
Okay.
I like Loyalty. It's actually one of my favorite songs on the album.
It's like the 5th or 6th best song, but okay.
You don't like the happy shit.
No, I like the Kendrick and Riri back and forth, but it's not better than DNA, Element, Feel, or Love. So it would be fifth at best, and then if you account Duckworth, sixth. So it's a six
I
best
like
record.
Loyalty better than Duckworth. All right, Pride.
That's Allah sent me, so that's Allah sent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Humble.
500 pound ounces. 500 pound ounces.
500. Yeah. Okay. Lust.
Versace.
Versace got that.
Yeah. So it's tied.
Okay, we got Love. I really like that song.
Claiborne Kick. That's Love.
Yeah.
Sean versus Flair.
XXX featuring you too, Sean.
Versus Flair.
Yeah.
We're tied.
Fear.
Party with Pop Smoke.
Huh. I don't know.
I don't know either. See, this is what I
I
mean.
don't know.
What are the people? I'm gonna let the people. What do the people
All
say?
right, yeah. What do y'all say? Kendrick Lamar, Fear. Fear, or West Side Gun, Party with Pop Smoke. We'll get back to that.
Okay.
God.
La Diablo. That's it. That's the last record.
Okay.
Yeah.
People are saying Fear. Sophia S says, I can't stand Humble. I never could. DeCarlo says Fear easily. Okay. So even with that, the 6-6 and Duckworth would be a tiebreaker, and Duckworth, is just an extra song, so it kind of wins. But I will say, man, I just feel like when you talk about songs that have lasted longer, what's the replay value looking like for Dan?
That's exactly what I thought about when you played these songs, because it's like, well, most of the songs that even Kendrick won, I was like, well, I'm playing outside of Element and Feel, Mike. I'm playing the other songs on West Side Side more. Like Element, Feel, and Love are the clear wins for me. But all those other records in terms of replay value, all belong on the West Side. That's why I say Pray for Paris is better, because it's like, if you want to go song for song and tell me like the albums are like close to being a tie or tie-ish, it's like, no, I'll give it that respect. I'm not saying it's not a fair argument and conversation. What the hell are you playing though? Because you're playing Allah Sent Me, you're playing George Bondo, Eurostep, French Toast, 327, 500 pound ounces, Versace, Claiborne Kick, Sean. No, you're playing these records.
To be perfectly fair.
You're not playing all that stuff on Dan. Like, people don't wake up. Here's what I'm saying. People don't wake up like, let me hear that Fear off Dan. People be waking up like, I need to hear that Eurostep. I need to hear that 500 pound ounces. I need to hear that Allah Sent Me. It's different.
You know what? This is the thing, and I want to be fair, right?
Acknowledge that it's different. Stop doing the nerdy stuff for Kendrick.
It is
and
different.
Then get on us. No, stop doing the nerdy stuff for Kendrick and then telling us that we're getting on Eminem. What are we doing?
We do and I find myself doing similar things. I give
because now it seems like the race is an issue, because it's like, oh no, we get to be nerdy about Kendrick but not about Eminem.
You're right.
Now what are y'all doing?
You're right. What
are y'all in here doing?
I can't deny that. The thing is,
is the comment section clicking or going off now? Right.
The thing is, man, in hip hop, the game changes so quickly and so drastically. A 5-year break, it's hard to have longevity in your songs unless you out here making like mega, like this is how we do it type of records. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to have like one of those Bobby Shmurda type of records or We Them Boys type of records that's gonna last over a 5-year break.
Hold on.
And Kendrick don't have none of those, by the way.
Let's break down Duckworth in respect to something. Let's break down Duckworth in respect to one of my favorite. Let's break down Duckworth in respect to my favorite Nas storytelling record, which is actually the setup off It Was Written. Okay, that's my favorite Nas storytelling record. You want to know why? Because it's not Nas on his super lyrical. No, he's there in the moment. He's aggressive. He's amped up. He's telling the story. It's detailed. It's fast-paced. Now, Duckworth, on an execution level, in terms of what he's doing, is more impressive. But when you cut on the setup, Mike, it's like no, it makes you feel something. It's like, no, you want to hear that. You wake up. It's like you'll hear a record come up on your playlist. Off It Was Written, like the messenger play. It's like, you want to know what? I need to hear the setup. And you're nodding and you're there. Y'all don't wake up wanting to hear Duckworth. It's not like that. Stop acting that way about these records, because when we have this conversation about Eminem, y'all say we are hating.
You know, it's interesting you say that because somebody whose skill level, you know, on a natural skill level, rap wise, is nowhere near Kendrick's, like a Kanye, right? And I looked at the episode too. I can't wait till you see it so we can really, really talk about it. And it's like, you feel this guy. You know what I'm saying? Even if he is not even when he spits corny shit, even when he says stuff like light-skinned friend look like Michael Jackson, dark-skinned friend look like Michael Jackson, it's a gift to be able to make people feel what you're talking about and not have to be super lyrically inclined with it. Now, again, I don't want to sound like I'm punishing people who are super lyrically inclined, but see, again, it's a whole nother lane to be able to be that lyrically inclined and have people feel you, a la Ghostface or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And so what we find ourselves doing, at least I find myself doing when it comes to Kendrick, I'm so impressed with where he's able to take it lyrically that I kind of turn a blind eye sometimes to the fact that his stuff doesn't have as much replay value as some of his peers or people who came before him. And when people tell me now that they're not big fans of Kendrick, I get it. I don't agree, but I get it.
His songs are the closest things we have in to rap. When you unwrap them individually, they're the closest things that we have to probably pieces of artwork.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about it. Like that piece of artwork that looks beautiful, like in your house and that wall where you placed it. Well, it doesn't look good in everybody's house. It doesn't look good on every wall. And you can't take that piece of art around in the car with you. Now, can you? And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And this is an artistic aesthetic where it's like, well, you got to be taken different places with it. And his stuff doesn't travel different places because it's more like artwork that you hang.
You know, I would rather hear Redman sometimes just be like, you know, it's the funk Dr. Spot, the punk cock lyricist, my mentality so deaf, yo, I ain't even hearing this shit. Biscuits be cocking back when I be coming. I guess they heard how I be taking MCs out by the hundreds. And that's not like no super complex whatever, but you feel it. Like, I don't know, man. It's tough to describe.
No. And sometimes when you want to craft it, I want you to craft it all the way. And this is what I mean. Lyrically, as an MC, is he super nice? Yes. But here's what I'm going to tell you is like, how about this? I don't think lyrically he has one performance better than Liquid Swords.
DeCarlo said something in the chat, and I agree with you. DeCarlo said something in the chat. He said, Mike, what's the replay album on Tupac's album that's not All Eyes on Me? I mean, Keep Your Head Up has replay value. Dear Mama has replay value. Temptations has replay value. Yeah, I don't know. Even Brenda's Got a Baby, and I don't even think Brenda's Got a Baby even is the tip of the iceberg of what Pac could do at the time. But that still has replay value.
Hold on.
If we want to talk about what my homies call and stuff like that, yeah, whatever. I get around. I mean, come on.
What are we doing?
I don't know what we're doing. You know what? I think what we do need to do is move on because we have spent a lot of time on this subject. Conway, the Machine, has his final Shady album dropping Friday. God doesn't make mistakes, right? He just got on an interview as of late. I think it was on with Bootleg Kev. He's been doing a lot of press lately. Did a freestyle with LA Leakers. It was bananas. But got on with Bootleg Kev, I believe, and said that he's a free agent after this release. And somebody's going to have to come with the big bag. He's free from his Griselda obligations, although that's family, and I'm sure he's going to keep working with them in that light. And he's done with the Shady record situation, which is interesting. We could get into like what all that means, but we could probably talk about that Friday because I'm sure the album will give us more insight to that. But he did release a mixtape, Earthlings, Did you get a chance to listen to that?
I've heard it.
The mixtape is 14 tracks. He did it in a traditional way. He included two songs that are actually on the album, I believe, and in John Woo Flicks and Piano Love, which is produced by The Alchemist. Did you guys hear the mixtape out there? I want to know what y'all thought of it. Sounds like, I don't know, to me, sounds like he's doing his thing. He's getting sharp. It reminded me of the mixtapes that we used to hear back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I mean like '04, '03, when an album was about to come out and artists would rap over whatever beat they wanted to rap over and give you little snippets of new songs. That's kind of what it reminded me of, and I thought it was dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that jail freestyle was tough.
Okay.
That the Earth Wings featuring Jay Skeens, I like that. I like him and Chain's chemistry.
I do too. Let me ask you this: do you still think that Conway is the best MC in the game? Because I know recently Benny the Butcher said that he picked Conway as the best MC in the game over J. Cole.
He's getting. I mean, like I said, you told me that we can't count Nas, so who would be his viable competition right now? So Cole's viable competition right now. So Cole on fire right now.
The Internet Artist Repertoire says, y'all downplaying Kendrick, but y'all be bigging up Conway. Speaking of overrated. Listen, man. Listen.
First of all, you need to watch your tongue.
Listen. Conway's not overrated. I think that, he really doesn't get too much rating. But Kendrick's not active, guys. What part of Kendrick not being active do people not understand? Like, what are we basing this on?
You understand that Conway in the last 5 years has done more work than Kendrick's done his entire career?
Well,
okay. I'm gonna say that again, so that everybody out there understands. In the last 5 years, Conway has done more material than Kendrick's done in his entire career, and it's not even close or even like a conversation. Okay? So just because, and I'm going to say this again, and I said this last year, I said it the year before, just because you're not fully acquainted with the catalog doesn't mean you get to run around talking about Kendrick's 4 or 5 albums worth of material versus this man like 10, 11, 12, 13 albums worth of material, countless contributions to his crew, and it's ridiculous how many verses, like he literally has like double, triple the output as Kendrick, and he showed up after Kendrick. Like, what are you talking about?
Jordan House says Conway has stick to your ribs bars. He does. He's that's why, you know what?
Hold on, who said that? I love that comment.
Jordan House, I believe.
Stick to your ribs bars. Yes, they stay.
Well, you know what? That reminds me, because I want to pull up the track list from the upcoming album this Friday. And I feel like Beanie Siegel has those stick to your ribs bars too. I'm interested to see this Lock and Loaded song that's going to be produced by Derringer and Beat Butcher featuring Benny Siegel. Like, we'll get into this track list in a second, but I'm really looking forward to hearing Conway and Beanie Siegel trade bars, because I think those guys really make you feel with those stick to your ribs bars.
No, that's an excellent comment, because you want to know what it is. Mike, you ever been in a fight and people fight different, and it's like some people, when they hit you, it just stings more. It doesn't matter what size they are. Like the punch lingers more when they hit you, and it doesn't matter what size they are. Like, that's who Conway is as an MC. That's what Jordan's speaking to. It's like, no. Like, when he hits you, it stays. Like, it stings a little. Like, you remember that he hit you with something. It's different. Yeah. Like, a lot of dudes are nice. A lot of guys are nice. There's a world full of nice MCs. There really is.
LP says what I was gonna say. Conway has the cow in his catalog. That puts him up there.
Yeah, it does.
It does. And for people who haven't heard the cow, go look it up. And honestly, man, again, back to that Kanye situation, it's like he has a story, man. This man overcame something. And you can hear it. You know what I mean? Like, it's. How long
did I tell you to listen to the cow, Mike? It's one of those songs that, like, you're like, oh my, Mike. It's up there with Prodigy's verse on Shook Ones. It's up there with whatever your favorite Nas verse is. Like, it's up there. Like, it's one of the best verses ever.
when you have a story and you've been through it and you're not afraid to talk about it, that puts things in a whole different level, man. That puts you in that through the wire type of, scenario. And even with 50, Many Man, it sounds different than his other shit. It does.
It hits you different.
It's different.
It's the one time you really, really feel him. You feel his emotions.
It's different.
You feel his paranoia, like all of that. Yeah, it hits you. It's different. You're right.
Feel It in the Air by Beanie Siegel is different. These songs are different, man. Mom Playing Tricks on Me is different.
It was the best rap song that year. It came out in January. It was the best rap song. Read They Body Language. 85% communication, non-verbal. 10%, man, you know this. 5%, man, you know their story. Other 5, time to show you. Just know you pull your strings. You the puppet master. Fuck the mother bastards.
Ryan Wither said, Coop, you're nice too. You got bars. Gray 88 says the cow made grown men cry at shows. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I shed some tears behind that record. Real talk. That's real life. That's real life stuff.
It's different, man. And do you feel like, again, I don't want to jump back in a Kendrick conversation, but since they want to talk about Conway and Kendrick, do you feel like that there are songs out there where Kendrick really put himself in that place where people could feel him on levels like that?
I think most of the evidence is on Good Kid, Mad City. That's why I tell people Real is such a great song, because that's him coming from that place of emotional perspective, of connecting himself and who he is, but also connecting to other aspects of his community and his hood. And he's detailed, like that's where his skill set and his emotions meet, and he shines. We spend too much time about his skill set.
Maybe because I just got off of listening to that podcast about To Pimp a Butterfly, but I feel like Kendrick's battle is within himself and feeling like I can do more. How do I do more to help more? And am I being self-absorbed by not helping more? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like those are some of the things that he battles with and he expresses a lot in his material when it comes to stuff that you really feel him on. Like that whole "you ain't no leader" and all that stuff,
I was just so happy with the Good Kid, Mad City guy that just could rhyme his ass off, made dope records, was a great MC. Like a lot of this, these are some self-inflicted wounds when you want to take on the task of putting together a record like To Pimp a Butterfly. So it's like, well, I don't feel sorry for some of what came after it. It's like, well, you took on the task of that. Nobody asked you to take on that task.
That's real. Back to God. God doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing him and Beanie Siegel trade bars on there. Are there some songs on there that you're looking forward to?
I'm about to go to it. I don't know. I just
so much more produced by the Justice League. I'm looking at, and I'm also looking at the collaboration with him, Hit Boy, Novel, and T.I. That should be interesting.
I'm looking at Guilty by Bink, because Bink is the producer that's standing out as a switch up type of producer potentially on here, and it's a solo mission on there. Mike, right before we went live, I see that he actually dropped or posted something about the Stress song featuring Wallow. So what we have already is that we know we've heard Piano Love, John Woo Flick, and Stressed is about to drop, or by the time we get done with this podcast, it'll be circulating.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly,
what about the Lil Wayne and Rick Ross? And that's produced by Cosmo Beats.
I don't love what I'm seeing, and I am gonna just wait for it just because he is the best MC in the game. But I don't love the track listing. I'm just gonna be totally honest with you because of the records that I heard. Because listen to what I'm saying. If I'm telling you that 2 years later, pretty much, or it's pretty much a year and a half later from When a King to a God came out.
Right.
But I would put it at number 3 after Alfredo and Pray for Paris. And we've heard John Woo Flick. Is John Woo Flick better than Spurs 3?
I don't think so. Shamario Patterson says Stressed is hard, so I guess it's out.
I haven't heard Stressed yet. That's why I'm asking. I literally just saw that it was circulating right before we went live, so I haven't heard it yet. So I don't think John Woo Flick is better than Spurs 3 either, and I damn sure don't think Piano Love is better than Lemon. And so,
No, it's not.
so I'm really hoping that Stressed is what fam is saying that it is, because it's like my expectation with this was that this album is going to be better than From a King to a God. And now my expectation is kind of officially somewhere like, well, As Good Has might be the best that we're going to get out of it. And I don't know if that's going to be good enough to land you Album of the Year this year. And he might end up being slotted somewhere like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 again. And my money kind of low key was on him.
Let me. I'm gonna listen to a little bit of Stress, man. Hold on. I'm not gonna play it because I don't want no copyright stuff. But
yeah,
I'm looking forward to the Jill Scott collaboration as well. I think that could possibly be something.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay, the production is there. I'm gonna listen to it later, but yeah. Production wise, I'm hearing where it's going. I like it.
I'm saying, and there's nothing wrong with Piano Love or John Woo Flick, but that's not Lemon or Juvenile Hell like we were hearing, was it?
Well, maybe it's one of those things where we need to hear in the whole scope of the whole project. Maybe it shouldn't have been put out individually ahead of time, and maybe we should have just been hearing these things as one piece. Because I will say that about Griselda, at least with at least with Conway and Westside, I feel like you have to listen to their whole projects.
That's true.
It's more so not even really about their individual singles that they put out. They don't put out music in the traditional format.
And also, too, Mike, they're the victim of their own kind of like classic record-making success, because here's the main problem with John Woo Flick. The problem with John Woo Flick isn't John Woo Flick. The problem with John Woo Flick is George Bondo and Brutus and 98 Sabres and Spurs 3 and Tito's Back and The Cow. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like the problem with John Woo Flick is that like we've heard about 10 records better than John Woo Flick with you guys on.
No, I want to change gears a little bit, but still kind of stay on the Conway thing. When he was talking about, basically out of his deal, sounds like he's looking for somebody to cut the check. I know Benny recently got on an interview and saying he wanted a Rockefeller chain. Do you think that Conway is possibly going to end up with Roc Nation? Like, where else is there to go? Because it sounds like he's not going to re-up with Shady Records. And it sounds like he's not going to just stay independent. Sounds like he's going to go somewhere. You think this is more of a call to Roc Nation?
I don't know exactly who it's a call to or what his expectation levels are. What he has shown to me is that, like, has an MC pound for pound and bar for bar, discounting all-time great legends. He's probably my choice for best MC in the game right now. Pusha T still hasn't. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. I prefer Pusha over Conway, but when's the last time? When did Daytona drop?
2018.
Okay, so what year are we in? So Conway, you get what I'm saying? Right, and so he's that dude.
He's showing and proving, man.
Right,
and again, I know people in the chat are talking about Nas. Nas is in a whole different stratosphere.
That's why I said discounting all-time great. I was like, do I got to put it in quotation marks? We're talking about not counting Nas, because Nas has literally been rapping since I was in. No, I'm sorry. Illmatic came out when I was in 7th grade, and he was rapping 3 years before that. So he's been rapping since I was in 4th grade. I'm 40 years old. We're not counting Nas.
You know what? Can we honestly say that Nas is the best rapper in the game right now?
Yes. If we're just being like all things considered, like because Magic is evidence of that, and it's like clear evidence. Conway's last evidence of that is a year and a half ago, actually. That's
so the mark to beat is Magic and KD too. To be honest.
Yes, to be honest, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And then KD 3 is coming.
And that's why I'm saying it's like that's why I mean it's just like. Oh, I'm not as excited as that, because I don't think do you think From a King to a God is better than KD 2? Because it's not better than Magic, but do you think it's better than KD 2?
No, I don't.
I don't either, but here's what I'll tell you. I think the highlights From a King to a God are better than the highlights from King's Disease 2, but King's Disease 2 from end to end is a little bit better. And if I think that this album is potentially just going to be as good as From a King to a God, well, then that means it's not going to be better than KD 2 or Magic, which means he's not going to have Album of the Year KD 3 on the way.
Somebody said that he's already on Rock Nation, and you know what? I think they might be right because I get confused. I think that it was Westside and
I don't know.
Conway that were on Rock Nation, right?
I thought Benny was on Rock Nation.
I thought that's who it is. Yeah.
Benny was on Rock Nation.
Okay, yeah, I'm confused. Okay, Benny's on Rock Nation. Okay.
But then that's any money more. Like I don't know. Everybody got like
everybody's gonna end up on Rock Nation, obviously, except for us because we're not getting any luncheon invites.
I think that would be the time to send the invite because it's getting close to springtime.
Yeah, man. I don't think we're gonna get any luncheon invites.
You get my tailor to like cut me up for a blazer or something like no.
Yeah, take some pictures of people and stuff. All right, so I think Conway's gonna end up dropping a strong effort, but you're right. Nas is the guy to beat when it comes to this, and KD3 is coming. Pusha T is talking very highly of his effort, and I don't know, man. We're just gonna have to see. I think that him. I don't know. It could go two ways, right? He either wants to end strong on Shady Records, or he's just putting something out to get out of the contract. What do you feel like Shady Records ever added to Conway in his career? Because, I mean, like, at this point, one would look back and be like, okay, well, why did they even do the Shady deal? Because him and Westside were in and out.
No, I've got legitimate questions about that, and I think the reason why they're in and out is because they see that it really wasn't true. How about this? I think they maybe didn't rate themselves high enough when they inked that paper. I think maybe they didn't see the arch of their trajectory without them as clearly and as defined as they thought. And if they did have that arch and that trajectory calculated properly, that means that where they were expecting Shady and the deal and the partnership to take them, it didn't take them there. And once they recognized it wasn't taking them there, it was pretty much over from right there. So it was like either a miscast of a sight. It was either foresight or hindsight. You get what I'm saying? But like either way.
I have something to piggyback on to that though.
But also let me say this too. Like part of why the culture is shifted is because of them. And that's what I mean. It's like those are the things that you can't count on. It's like they thought that them jumping over there might have given them a thing or outlet that maybe they weren't going to get to. But what they really found out in the process is that they made that outlet kind of the thing again. Like them along with Gibbs and some other guys and Push. You get what I'm saying?
Things change.
Things change. And it changed literally right in front of them is what I think happened. And I don't really think that they were expecting that. And I don't think it's really been beneficial for them on any sort of level that I can quantify.
I was going to say that because I saw up here in the comment where Michael Sanders says marketing is what Shady provided, but did they? Like, what did we see changed from a marketing standpoint? Even when Conway collaborated with Eminem, it really didn't help. A lot of people were very critical of that collaboration. I mean, at least for me, and I know y'all probably gonna just think I'm popping shit, but I liked Conway's part. Eminem came in, the beat changed. I kind of was like, tuned out at that point. I think that the initial thought was Shady Records is Shady Records, Eminem is Eminem. And they thought that, okay, this is gonna add a whole lot to what we do as far as like the amount of people who know about what we're doing. And I don't know if Shady Records has that kind of pull with the public and the industry anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
Musically, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, Eminem's Eminem. He could be the most famous rapper in the world or number 2 or 3 or whatever you want to think. But as far as him presenting an artist to the world, I don't know if he has that kind of pull in hip hop anymore. Can Eminem make a star like 50 Cent again?
First of all, 50 was already a star. 50 had New York a lot before M showed up.
I agree.
50 had been rolling with Nas and the Bravehearts for years before that. Everybody in New York knew who 50 was. I've been hearing 50 on mixtapes since I was in high school.
Let's keep it a buck. I mean, everything from, the Mad Rapper to Track Masters, but his relationship with Violator and what's his name? I'm sorry, not Kevin Lyles. I don't know why his name's in my head. I'm talking about Chris Lighty. Rest in peace. You was already running with Chris Lighty and Violator. So no. Yeah,
Onyx. He was running with Onyx too.
that's what I'm
Remember, he was
saying.
in the Onyx remix.
No,
Yeah.
Chris Lighty was managing him. Chris Lighty set the whole shady thing up. So yeah, you were already moving. So yeah, you're right.
No. I want people to understand this.
Yeah.
Before Eminem ever shows up, this is a guy that is on tracks with Onyx, multi-platinum group, Nas, multi-platinum artist, Nature, gold-selling artist, Noriega,
Destiny's Child is on his album that didn't come out.
Yeah,
But, you know.
that's what I'm saying. Like, come on, he was signed to Columbia. Yeah. But you don't want to know what really happened here? It's what I would call an imperfect storm. What really happened was that they kind of got together at the wrong time. And that happens sometimes. Remember, like Dr. Dre and Rakim?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, imperfect storm. Like you have your perfect storms and you have your imperfect storms. Like this Nas Hit Boy thing going on. Oh, perfect storm. Oh, Dr. Dre, Rakim, imperfect storm. Shady Griselda, imperfect storm. It happens sometimes. And it's really like nobody's fault in particular. It's just the game changes. Things change. It happens right in front of you. I told you. One of the reasons that I realized that they weren't really good for them is because I pulled up Conway's Instagram page today. Mike, I remember pulling up his Instagram page 2 years ago when we were reviewing the Lulu album that Alchemist produced. He had like 295,000 followers or something like that. He's got like a little over 500,000 now. It's like, oh no, he was going to do that in the next 2 years anyway, just based on the material. Shady didn't do that. The relationship with Shady didn't take his numbers up or his profile or his coverage or anything. And it didn't clean up their image any in a way that made them more marketable in certain aspects, so they got other endorsement deals that weren't already available to them. So what did it do?
Yeah, I don't know of any endorsement deals like off the top of my head. So,
right.
You would think that that's the type of doors that it would open, but yeah.
At least the potential for it.
Yeah.
And so it didn't yield any of those things. And this is a climate where it moves fast now. You're not supposed to sit and wait 2, 3, 4 years to see if it happens. Your career is over. And also, here's the main thing I want to submit to you about all this. The guys in Griselda are our age, Mike.
Yeah, they ain't got no time for whatever. Yeah, they're like, look.
They're playing the game where they're running around with the 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25-year-olds. Dudes is 38, 39, 40, really. Okay?
Yeah.
And you don't got time. Mike, how we be? Mike, you saw me today when we were at Phipps. Mike, we had an issue at Phipps today, right? Now, Mike, how was I? I was just like, I don't have time for that.
No.
And I literally, and they tried to check up on me because they knew I was wrong. And what I do, Mike, I stepped out of the store.
Yeah.
Because I don't have time.
Grown men don't have time.
Yeah, grown men don't have time. Real grown men don't have time. No. I'm not about to argue with you. I'm not about to static with you. I'm not about to step over here. I don't need you to check up on me and none of that. We good. Because you already know what you did. You already know who you are.
Hey, that was hilarious, man. We might get into a little bit more of that on Friday. Cause,
yeah, we was at Phipps today. Me and Mike was at Phipps today taking care of some business.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we got bad service, but, we'll talk about that a little later. You know what? I want to switch gears, man, and go on to this. Should we go to the Megan contract thing, or are we going to get into this Verzuz? We got a mock Verzuz coming up for the people that are in the room. We got like 150 people in the room right now. We got a mock Verzuz between Just Blaze and Havoc. Coop got Havoc. I got Just Blaze.
No, that's beautiful. Hold on. Start running down that Megan topic. I got to run up top. For
okay, no, do your thing. So, Megan is suing 1501 Certified Entertainment, her first record label, or the label that signed her initially, because they are having disputes over what a mixtape and album is. So, Coop and I have talked about this subject before, how convoluted that albums and mixtapes are in today's hip hop atmosphere. What's a mixtape in hip hop, and what is an album in hip hop? So anyway, the lawsuit, it's defined over here. It says the new lawsuit against 1500 Certified Entertainment addresses whether last year's Something for the Hotties counts towards her contractual fulfillment. Megan Thee Stallion is headed back to court when the Houston-based rapper Megan Ruth Pete filed a new lawsuit against the record label. I'll get to the other page of it. A new lawsuit against the record label, 1505 Certified Entertainment, over the question of what constitutes as an album in her contract and what concerns last year's Something for the Hotties, which classified as mixtape. The lawsuit document responds to the letter 1501 certified sent Pete out of the blue in January, alleging that last October, Something for the Hotties, a compilation consisting of various freestyles from her YouTube channel, along with the single Thought Shit and other tracks, did not count as an album for purpose for fulfilling her record contract. In the lawsuit, Pete alleges that the contract's only criteria for defining an album is that at least it has to be 45 minutes long, and Something for the Hotties fulfills that. In fact, it's exactly 45 minutes and 2 seconds long. She should have made it 46 minutes. The lawsuit reads, given that the 1501 waiting more than 2 months after Pete's release and the album Something for the Hotties to take this position, it's clear that it's in a position of frivolous and has no basis on law or fact. And continues, Pete can only speculate that the reasons why 1501 is taking this new position, but extending results in action is clear. 1501 wants Pete down to release more albums under the contract to financially benefit their company. We'll break this down in 1 second because there's a lot to take from here. This is not the first time that the artist has struggled with her label. The documents in the new lawsuit begin to allege that over the past 2 years, Megan and 1500 shared a long, torturous history and disputes with each other concerning Pete's record agreement. They allege that after signing her contract in February of 2018, Pete realized that her terms as originally written were entitled to one-sided, favored 1501. All right, listen, let's dial back. Okay, the whole thing is that the label is sitting here saying, no, that's a mixtape. No, that's an album, while Megan is saying that's a mixtape. And I found the part that was interesting in this article is where it said, where is it? It's right here. In the lawsuit, Megan alleges that the contract's only criteria for defining an album is that it has to at least be 45 minutes long. The Something for the Hotties fulfills that in the fact that it's exactly 45 minutes and 2 seconds long. Okay, who defines what an album is and what a mixtape is in hip hop? I knew we were gonna run into this problem.
You want to know what's crazy, Mike? Is that I feel like for the first half of the time that we've been doing this show, like my prophecy's been coming to life, and then the second half of the time, it's like your prophecy has been coming to life, because you have literally spoken to this specifically, and we have argued, and like we have gotten it in on multiple occasions, like about this one subject matter. And you told me, you were like, hey, Coop, this is going to be a problem at some point. And I'm like, nah, we just got to keep it in the streets. Like, that's just the rap purist to me. But you're right. It's becoming a problem. We're going to have to identify and subgenre it.
What is a mixtape and what is an album? Because I think the lines start getting blurred when, you know, people who did it great.
The money start getting low.
I think we've seen since we've been doing According to Hip Hop and even doing this show, I've seen Section 80 by Kendrick Lamar turn from a mixtape qualification to now you look it up, they consider it to be an album. And again, that is a problem. When
I went back to Cali, when I was in Cali, it was like, cool. You heard that Kendrick Lamar Section 80 mixtape. That was in Cali. I was in Cali. I was there. It had just dropped. I pulled up. I was in LA.
I feel you. But this is my thing.
The homies called it a mixtape. That's what the homies called it.
This is my thing, man. And I've always said this, even when people refer to that as a mixtape and Crit was here as a mixtape, if it's all original music, that's an album.
Correct.
I'm sorry. And let's stop blurring the lines. If it's all original music, all original compositions, you got original beats on here. You're not rhyming over like All About the Benjamins or whatever the hot beat is at the time. And you got original concepts, you got original bars, you got original hooks.
Very popular.
That's an album. No matter what they tell you. Because if you want to sit there and label it a mixtape, And then the label comes in there for whatever reason and says, no, we want to consider this an album. Or let's just say, because they've been doing this with Drake too. It's like, okay, no, this is a playlist, or this is a mixtape, or this is an album. How does that play with your contract? Let's just say I signed you to a contract as an artist, right?
That's what it is. There it is. There it is.
Yeah. Let's just say I signed you as as an artist to let's just say a 4-album deal, right? I think that's about standard, 3 or 4 album deal. You putting out music, and I want to keep you in the contract, and I say, you know what? This is a mixtape. This ain't an album.
What am I gonna say?
Huh?
What am I gonna say?
Who could say anything? This is what their dispute is. Somebody says it's a mixtape, somebody says it's an album. If albums and mixtapes don't have clear definitions, and I sign you to a 4-album deal, and you're making what are albums, and I say, no, that's a mixtape. We're gonna take this to court. How is the judge gonna be able to define anything?
I'm gonna say, got myself my Uzi and my brother a 9. That's what I'm gonna say. But
I mean, because I know the definition used to be, okay, the mixtapes are free and the albums are for sale. Well, now everything's free. So
ain't nothing for free.
Well, I mean, streaming wise, you know what I'm saying? Everything's pretty much free for the most part. Yeah, I think that Chance the Rapper, where it looked like he was doing groundbreaking things, it kind of convoluted the space a little bit more, because now you have mixtapes that were nominated for Grammys.
Hold on. Can we just pause? How innovative and creative is he now? Or is he just self-serving? And was it just like, he kind of jumped through the hoop right quick and got what he could get out of it? And then what's the effect in the fabric that's left from what he did? Because it was a real whole thing.
I don't think that we've seen any fruit bear from the trees that they say that Chance the Rapper.
That whole, I'm not signed to anybody, and it's the best thing ever. It's like, okay, so you're right. How did that yield fruit for those that came after you? You know what I'm saying?
Nothing. I mean, to be perfectly honest, and I say this respectfully, I don't want to sound like bashing Chance, but sounds like he just sold a bunch of hats and did very well for himself. But I don't think that there's anything that he broke down, because one of the things that was problematic about Chance was he had the opportunity to sit down and really break down game when Joe Budden was asking him some of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't giving clear, transparent answers. He was basically saying things like anybody could call up Apple and get an exclusive deal or get their stuff showcased. That's not the truth.
Right. And you want to know, and here's why he was saying that too. It happened so fast, he really didn't know why it was happening even to him, so he really didn't have a valid explanation.
Oh, I think he knew everything that was happening to him. He just wasn't going to be upfront about it, just like he wasn't going to be upfront about the fact that his father was close with the Obamas and Mayor Emanuel in Chicago. He never really disclosed that stuff.
That's the part that's very problematic.
So it's like, and again, I think that when you're an artist, that's the difference between an artist and an entertainer. We don't ask everybody to be transparent, but honestly, as we talked about with with Conway, it helps when people are transparent, and it makes it where you hit people on a different level.
Yes,
entertainers are the ones that aren't transparent. We don't know anything about Beyonce. She's not going to tell us anything. She's an entertainer.
People like to know who they're dealing with. People like to know who they're dealing with.
Well, true artists like to express to their fans who they're dealing with.
How about this? Somebody just sung the national anthem, I believe, at like a very famous event. And I've met that person before. And somebody texted me and was like, oh, such and such is singing national anthem. And I was like, because I've met them. I know what their behavior is like, like when the mic's not plugged up. And so it's like, nah, you can keep all that. It's the transparency of it. Because for him, he was like, oh, I didn't know that. And it's like, I didn't even tell him anything. It was just like just me being like, he kind of already knew. I was like, yeah, that's one of those people,
Well,
it's
I
It's
mean,
like
I will say this for
you can
artists.
swap at a camera all you want. I'm gonna start airing people out on here because I done ran into so many of these people. I got so many stories I could tell. Like it's ridiculous. Like people out here are not safe. I'm not the one.
Well, I don't know how fair that is. Like, you know what I mean? It's like artists are expected to be on 100% of the time.
I don't know. Just don't be a fucking asshole. That'd be the thing about it.
I feel that.
It ain't even you don't gotta be a superstar entertainer, but what you need not be is like certain things in a negative connotation: a jerk, an asshole, a narcissist, a commander of attention when you're already getting all the attention anyway. It's like, how are you going to command attention when you're already getting all the attention anyway? It's like, what more do you want?
Well, another thing that I like from that Kanye documentary too is you get to see how some of these artists were treating him before he got big. And it's very interesting to see who was cool and who wasn't cool. Like I told you, man, the only people, and I've seen episode 2 now, the only people that I could tell truly believed in what he was doing and truly organically liked what he was doing and wasn't trying to be all on some I'm up here, you're down here shit was Mos Def and Pharrell. That's it. And Dame Dash also was like, look, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. When I seen him, I was like, you know, whatever. He a producer trying to get some beats. I mean, we trying to get some beats. He said he could rap, whatever. I didn't take him serious. But when I really listened to him, I got it. Now, I will give Dame that. Dame was honest about the fact that he didn't see it at first. It took a lot of legwork on Kanye's end for him to see it. But after he saw it, he was behind it. But other than that, everybody else was on some Hollywood shit.
So hold on. So imagine this. If Kanye is already in the circle enough that he can bring his music to and around these people, and they are treating him this way,
right?
How do you think they treat the average person when they walk up to them? Hello.
That's a fair point.
And that's why I'm saying it's just like, no, ain't nobody safe with me because it's like, Mike, I think everybody knows me well enough to know now. It's like, no, I done said something. Some of these people done acted that way around me.
Well, you know what? And back to the Megan thing. I'm interested to see where this case is going to go, and I'm going to keep an eye on it because, again, it seems like these labels are defining what a mixtape and album is on their own in contracts. And the only thing that they had in that contract was it has to be 45 minutes or more. I mean, I think any mixtape's more than 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
very manipulative.
I don't know. But again, I blame, I don't want to say blame the artists, but yeah, I mean, I think the artists needed to be a lot more defined in the culture.
Yeah, there we go. What's the solution?
The solution is we have to, I think it's too late now. I think it's too late to actually fix parameters for what a mixtape and album is. The courts are going to decide now. That's where it's at.
See, that's the problem. No. We're not letting them decide anything. See, that's
we're there now.
It's very problematic.
We're there now because we never did it. That's the one thing that I hate. I think we're such creative people when it comes to actually creating things from the ground. But what we don't do is when we create, we don't handle all of those things that we need to handle so shit doesn't get awry. At this point, it's too late for us to go back and define what a mixtape and album is. The courts are going to do it now.
Ooh, do you know how much potential like money and revenue is laying in arrears because of that though? Think about this. If certain classifications change, like how about this? Like what's a compilation album now?
Exactly. Good question. Because some could say that Hitler Wears Hermes 8 is a compilation album, right?
Hey, what about QB's Finest? What about the Funk Master Flex tapes? What about all those Re-Up Gang mixtapes? What about all those Locks mixtapes? What about all those Fab mixtapes? Like what are they? Are they albums that belong to labels now? You feel what I'm saying?
You know what? It's interesting you brought up Fabulous. Those soul tapes are albums.
Okay.
And you know what? And they're not albums, but they are. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, those should have been albums that should have been put out by Def Jam, whoever. Somebody got over, and I think initially the artists felt like they were getting over because they were able to have music out there, do shows on them, get probably sell the mixtapes in the streets. But now the labels have caught up. And now when you're entering in a new
Bro, the labels
contract,
ain't caught up. Like they just greedy. They
of
just
course,
greedy.
they're going to get their money.
They like I want you to understand the way rule number 4080. Record company people are shady.
Listen, you're not going to beat the house. You learned that in Vegas. You can play these games all you want, but you're not going to beat the house. You're not going to cash out on the record labels, Coop. It's just not going to happen.
It's not. So I want people to understand this is not some Illuminati or conspiracy claim or theory that I'm about to put down. People sit back in rooms and decide and figure out ways that they are going to pimp these artists out more and take more money from them. It is not some imaginary thing that doesn't exist. This right now going on is evidence to the fact of what is going on in the back room in the mic. You said limitization. I'm going to say pimpization of this. You feel what I'm saying? This is proof positive of the pimpization that is going on in the industry. Because Mike, first it was like, you want to know what? We just want to take 80 to 90 cents and leave you with 10, 20 cents and you run and work with that. Okay. And then it turned to is like, well, you want to know what? We'll give you a 50-50 deal, but you got to pay back this money that we front and And then it goes, well, you want to know what? We want your show money. You know what I'm saying? We want your stream money. And now it's like, you want to know what? That mixtape, that belonged to us. That's not a mixtape.
Let's keep it all the way real, Coop. Who wants the relationship more? Do the artists want the relationship with the labels more? Or do the labels want the relationship with the artists more? You coming to the labels, tap dancing for deals and jumping on the tables and doing whatever you got to do to get them to give you a contract. What do you expect? You expect to get a fair shake? Like what do you expect? These people go out their way to want to be a part of these institutions. So you think they're going to give you a fair shake?
So I'm about to say something. I know some people don't like it. The way sometimes that us as young artists go into record labels and audition is very auction block-like to me. And I don't like it. And so to that, I say I'm just not a fan of how that whole dynamic works anyway, because quite frankly, the way it really should work is that if you're going to make more money off me than I'm going to make off me, the least that you can do is come looking for me instead of me going into an office and tap dancing. But a lot of us don't understand that shit.
There's no respect there.
There is no respect there. But we disrespect ourselves in that process.
I mean, and I'll say this respectfully, right?
I don't. It's an auction block.
We artists are treated like groupies in those situations. Like, look, what are you gonna do to be down with the crew? You want to be backstage. What you gonna do to do that? And that's the same thing with the artists. It's like, look, you want to be put in this position where I can make you the biggest star out here and you win these awards, you make your mom proud. What are you going to sign to do that? And you know what? And they'll pull one of those TLCs on you where it's like, look, if you don't sign this, I'll just find somebody else. Like the first, I think Chili was the replacement for, one of the original members. Right. She said, look, I'm going to have my lawyer go look over this. She's like, if you leave, I'll just replace you. And she did that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, management that is. But, I mean, it is what it is. And so unless you're meeting them on a level playing field, I mean, I don't think you could expect to get any type of level dealings with any major record label. So, it's part of it. I think Lil Duval said this. He was like, all these artists complaining about their records not coming out or whatever. You signed up for this. They told you. If they would have told you everything that was about to happen, you would have signed it anyway. Let's keep it real.
Well, grass not always greener.
No, it's all about what you want out of this.
See, you thought you were stepping onto this, like you thought they rolled out the red carpet for you and that it was glitter and gold and there were champagne wishes and caviar dreams. And then you stepped on stage and they stripped it down and you found out you were just like your ancestors on an auction block.
I mean, but there's been generations of artists that have told other artists that that's what it was going to be like, and they signed anyway.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Mike, not to get into it too heavy, I got offered deals. I didn't sign a lot about my manhood, about a lot of different things. Mike, I told you about them conversations I was having with artists who are already signed. It was like, yo, Coop, like if you go to that party, you're gonna get signed way, way faster. But you also gotta like go back home and like, you know, be a man to your family. So like you gotta start reconciling certain things if you're gonna go to that party. We don't go to those parties, Coop. You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, it's never that serious for me, man. But to each his own, you know.
Right, it was never that serious. That's why I didn't get my ass in those parties or get on that tour bus. You feel me? Right.
Yeah, yeah.
When that's serious. Mm-mm.
Well, like I said, we'll be following this Megan case, court case. So she got two of them out there. I'm not talking about the Tory Lanez.
But also, Mike, I want to say something. This is one of those people that went to those parties, dropped her phone in the basket. You know what I'm saying? And knew what was going on. And so it's like, you got to eat some of the food. You know, there's that part of it too. It's like, I get that you want your freedom, but it's like Lil Duval said, it's like, oh, you kind of knew what you was doing though. Like, we all know how this game goes. Me as an unsigned artist, Mike had industry connections and had people telling me how it went. So it's like, she knew how it was going.
Allegedly. I don't know what Megan knows. So, you know.
No, her mother was involved in the industry even before she was. Like, don't tell me you don't know how these things work. We're not playing those types of foolish games. Let's not plead ignorance at the end while we're getting our college degree. You know what I'm saying? Let's not plead ignorance while we're getting our college degree.
Fair point.
Yeah.
All right. We got a bunch of people in the room right now. So let's go ahead and do this mock versus. You told me last week that you thought Havoc was a better producer than Just Blaze. And I said I disagree with that. And so the only way to duke this out is to do a mock versus with all of the people here watching. I didn't look at your list. You're probably looking at my list now, but I haven't seen them lined up. We're going to go ahead and take score. Are you ready to go ahead and get this mock versus going? With Just Blaze and Havoc. I can't believe you even took this on, man. And no disrespect to Havoc, but just...
You sound very disrespectful. This list is dope. This list ain't all that. I got something for you.
Okay, well, let's go.
Have you seen my list? Have you looked at my list now?
I'm looking at it right now. It's on the screen. Okay. I wrote my shit on paper and just went ahead and took a picture of it, man. We had a busy, busy day. I started it off with... I'm going to start with you because Havoc's the veteran here. You started it off with Survival of the Fittest.
Yeah, it's okay. You wrote it down on paper. It's all good.
Survival of the Fittest versus The Rock. The Rock is Cameron's record. I know it's 2 Rock songs that he did. One was on the Dynasty or whatever, but Survival of the Fittest versus The Rock.
Yeah, so we're just going to take that one, Mike.
Ah, man, I got The Rock, man, but whatever. I'll give you Survival of the Fittest.
Mike, nobody.
I'll give you Survival of the Fittest. You're going to need that one.
Yeah, nobody's about to rock with you on that.
Eye for an Eye or I Really Mean It. Cameron's or Dipset's I Really Mean It.
So it's 2-0.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I'll let the people decide because I don't think anybody thinks the beat that I Really Mean It is better than the beat that Eye for an Eye. I don't.
Let me ask the people in the room.
You can ask the people.
Which is the better beat, Eye for an Eye or Cameron's I Really Mean It? I'll let the votes come in because I think there's a slight delay. People have picked Survival of the Fittest. Let's see. Illegal Life or Pump It Up?
Illegal Life's a better beat than Pump It Up. You know what I'm talking about? Illegal Life off Capone and Noriega. That's the best beat on the War Report, actually.
Better than Pump It Up?
I was actually thinking about going with Parole Violators, too, because Parole Violators is having shit, too, I believe, but...
People got Eye for an Eye on this one. Let me ask people on the CNN tip, man. Illegal Life or Pump It Up? Joe Budden. Yeah, people are picking Eye for an Eye like crazy. Okay. Yeah. I think people are just not catching up. All right. DeCarlo says Pump It Up.
Okay.
We got Illegal Life. Pump It Up. Illegal Life looks like you winning that one too. Jesus.
Told you, Mike. How about this, Mike? Illegal Life has a beat. Is actually better than Survival of the Fittest and Eye for an Eye. The song's just not as classic. The beat's actually better.
Okay, you got that one. Yep. God Part 3, Touch the Sky.
I might give you Touch the Sky on this one, but barely. But that's close enough that we gotta let the people say again, Michael. What do you think? Touch the Sky? I think Touch the Sky.
Touch the Sky is better.
I think Touch the Sky wins that one. That's cool.
All right. Right back at you. Breathe. Fabulous. I'm going Breathe.
I'll give you Breathe. What are the people saying? Or they? I
think people are a little bit behind. People are still on Pump It Up and Touch the Sky. Yeah, Touch the Sky is winning that too. Okay.
Good.
All right, so we did Right Back at You and Breathe. Which one do y'all think is better, Right Back at You or Breathe? We'll convene with the people. I see Breathe. All right, the setup, what we do. That's what we do.
As much as I love the setup, that is what we do. And that's one of those things that just kind of fell that way, where I felt like the setup could be in the right situation, just the wrong situation for the setup.
I like this one. Why and Oh Boy. I'm going Oh Boy.
I'm going Why.
I never liked the beat for Why like that.
I never loved Oh Boy like that.
Oh Boy is hard. I want to ask the people then. Yeah, people are picking Breathe, Touch the Sky. All right. So I want to know from the people, which is the better track? Jadakiss' Why, Cameron's Oh Boy.
I like that too. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
It is a good one.
I'll reconvene with the people or whatnot. Yeah, what we do is blowing it out here. All right, so we got Drop a Gem on them, a Song Cry. Woo!
Hold on, which one is winning? Oh Boy or Why?
Let's see. Oh Boy, Oh Boy, Oh Boy. Why? Oh Boy easily. Why?
Okay.
Why easily? Oh Boy. Why? Oh Boy, Oh Boy. Why? Why? But this may be a wash.
Might be a wash.
Let's make it a wash. That's cool. That's cool. We'll do a wash.
So it's 3-3 wash. Yep.
3-3 wash.
Yep.
All right.
I like it.
Drop a gem on them, a Song Cry.
Drop a Gem on them is a better beat than Song Cry.
All right. I see Drop a Gem on them. I see Song Cry. I see Gem. I see Wash.
I can see another wash with this. That's what I was starting to think when I thought about that. That's potential wash right there.
Gem on them. Oh boy, still shining. Song Cry.
I'm cool with washing that one.
You want to watch that one? That's cool. Okay.
I'm cool with washing that one.
Ooh, yeah. The Learning or Exhibit C? Exhibit C. As much as I love The Learning. As much as I love The Learning.
I don't know about that.
As much as I love The Learning, that's Exhibit C.
I think that's The Learning.
Exhibit C is epic, dog. Listen,
it's epic because of electronica. It's epic because of electronica.
I've said this before, and I'm not just saying this because we're on a Kendrick kick. I said this when Kendrick was at the top. I don't know if Kendrick and J. Cole have a better song than Exhibit C. I can't definitively say they do.
You say that? Can't definitively say that.
Huh?
What are the people saying? I said, no, I can't definitively say that either. What are the people saying? That's a great
people are saying Exhibit C. Exhibit C. Burn. Exhibit C. The Learning. Burn.
Yeah.
Exhibit C is nuts. Yeah. The Learning. Exhibit C. Exhibit C.
We'll give it to Exhibit C.
Yeah.
We'll give it to Exhibit C. That sounds like Exhibit
C. And I
C.
love Burn. I hate that Burn had to go down like that.
That's not right.
Ooh,
okay.
Quiet Storm and the Dynasty intro. That's Quiet Storm. As great as the Dynasty intro is.
We go ahead and cut that out.
Yeah, I hate to lose that one. Streets Raised Me and Rock the Mic. Rock the Mic.
Yeah, I give you Rock the Mic. That was one of those things that fell wrong.
Ooh, Live Nigga Rap in December 4th.
That's Live Nigga Rap.
December 4th.
That's Live Nigga Rap.
And I love Live Nigga Rap. That's
how can you say that, Mike? Mike, you jump up here all the time and have somebody who respects Jay and Nas talk about Live Nigga Rap.
I love Live Nigga Rap.
You don't never talk about December 4th. Let's keep it 100. How can you sit up there and say that it's better when you talk about Live Nigga Rap all the time and you never talk about December 4th? Ever. How can you do that live? Like, I'm not letting you get away with that. That's live nigga rap just because you talk about live nigga rap more than I do.
I love live nigga rap, and I think we should have used it in the Nas verses, but
we still won. We got round 2, Mike. We still got room.
yeah, we still got room. Okay, I wanna know from the people, which song is better, live nigga rap or December 4th? All right, so people have caught up since we had a little conversation. We got live nigga rap here. We got December 4th, live nigga rap, live nigga rap, live nigga rap, live nigga rap, live nigga rap. Okay.
Yeah, that's mine. Just
live nigga rap. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Next.
It's mine, Mobb Deep, and Safe to Say by Fat Joe.
And 6.
Damn, that just felt bad for me because I think the Safe to Say beat is crazy, but you know, Fat Joe against Mobb Deep and Nas is tough, man.
It's mine.
It's a tough sell.
Don't nobody remember that Safe to Say like that, but this is it's mine. This is the most famous collaboration, actually. Not the best, but the most famous one. Yeah. And the beat is dope, Mike. A little Scarface loop, yeah.
Yeah, it was dope. Still Shining and T.I.'s I'm Talking to You.
I love this one, Mike. What say you? This was the one when I saw it lined up. I was like, these are 2 of my favorite beats from those producers, actually, personally. I love Still Shining. Still Shining actually might be my favorite beat on Hell on Earth.
I love Still Shining. I might have to go when I'm talking to you.
I want to let the people decide because I think that's some of their. How about this? If we're just going beat work, this is top 5 for both of them, in my opinion.
Okay, Sophia S says Still Shining. Who y'all got? Still Shining from Mobb Deep or T.I.'s I'm Talking to You? We got Still Shining. Still Shining. It looks like Still Shining's gonna win this. JD Free said T.I. Yeah, okay. Still Shining. I'm cool with that. So we're looking at 5, 7, 2 washes.
Yeah. You're gonna have to catch me somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick up the pace. So we got Hoodlum and we got Why You Hate the Game. By The Game featuring Nas. I might go with Why You Hate the Game.
No, that's Why You Hate the Game, even though that's Mobb Deep featuring Rakim. But I think that's Why You Hate the Game.
But that's a pretty good lineup, though. You know, it lines up very well. Hell on Earth and Lord Knows. Hell on Earth. Yeah. And see, you know, I try to diversify it because, you know, that might have hurt me.
I told you that mob stuff is just hard to beat when it's just that.
Play for Keeps versus Compton. I got Compton.
Yeah, we got Compton.
I got, Shoot 'Em Up versus 98 Sabres. That's 98 Sabres.
That's 98 Sabres, yeah.
So we're at 8-8, 2 washes.
I told you it was going to be close.
Last Day versus PSA. That's PSA.
Yep.
And Shook Ones Part 2 versus You Don't Know.
And we have a draw because you're not nobody in their right mind is thinking You Don't Know or Shook Ones Part 2 as great as You Don't Know is.
So what were our washes?
So our washes were, I believe, hold on, no. Y and Oh Boy, was that a wash? Or was that that was Oh Boy.
Yeah, it was Y and Oh Boy. And it was
no, I think Oh Boy won that.
No, that was a wash.
Well, that was a wash, you're right. And I think the other one. Where's the other one at? Hold on.
What was the other wash? Because it
wasn't learning. Drop a gym on him? Was it Drop a Gym on him?
I think it was. And Song Cry.
Yeah, Drop a Gym on him and Song Cry. And so, Mike, if I was really parsing things out, I would lean towards Oh Boy, but then I would lean towards Drop a Gym on him on the other side. So I think we're still stuck with a tie.
Still stuck with a tie? What is the tiebreaker here? Ooh. You pull out a record. I'm going to pull out a record that I didn't use.
Okay. Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Let me pull out a record. Let me think about this real quick. Live on air, since we tied pretty much what? It's gonna be like 10-10?
No, it's pretty much 10-10.
10-10. Let me pull out a record. Let me pull up.
That's all.
Oh, I got a record in the pocket.
You got a record in the pocket? All right, give me 1 second.
There's a couple that I'm wrestling with. Okay. Hold on. I don't wanna go girls. I don't wanna do that.
Wouldn't do that if I was you.
I'm not gonna do that.
Hold on.
I got my record, I think.
Well, yeah. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I'm just thinking if there's something. I mean, because I got personal stuff too, like when it comes to Havoc, but it's like this ain't time for all that. So.
People in the chat are giving some suggestions. Nightmare Vultures, The Realists.
That's Nighttime Vultures and The Realists are my personal choices. Go, Mike. But I gotta be better than both of those, actually, I think.
Okay.
Yep.
You want me to go?
You, though. Yeah, well, I started it off, and this is tiebreaker stuff, so visiting team got it.
I'm starting to regret my choice here already. Okay, hold on. Let me go through this in the mental Rolodex. Now I gotta go with my gut, man. I'm going Dear Summer.
That's cool. I'm going Trife Life.
I got Dear Summer.
I got Trife Life, Mike, and so does everybody else. Don't nobody. Okay, let the people decide that. That's the people anyway. I got Trife Life, but I thought about that. Whoever said Nighttime Vultures, that's personally like my favorite Prodigy verse personally, and I love that song. It's one of my top 5 Mobb Deep records. And I thought about the beat to The Realist, but I don't think the beat to The Realist is better than Dear Summer. But I do think the Trife Life beat is.
Okay.
And it's epic. That's some of that Q-Tip influence that you hear where Havoc starts getting nice with that Q-Tip influence too, actually, Mike.
All right, Sophia says Trife Life. Sorry, Mike D. DeCarlo says Summer. Yeah, who y'all got? Trife Life or y'all got Dear Summer? Somebody said you're done, Mike. George Williams says Trife Life.
Yeah, I told you I got you with Trife Life. That's why I was like, oh, Nighttime Vultures. The Realist is like, no,
Trife Life.
Trife Life is dope, Mike. It's a super dope beat.
Darnell Lee said, Mike, you were so close. You know what? I was thinking about, all right, my other one that I was thinking, because I didn't want to go girls, right? And I love Kingdom Come personally. But I think Dear Summer is just more, heralded.
Right. No, I feel like if I would have picked Nighttime Vultures, I would have lost. But that was my original inclination. That's why I was like, no, I can't be getting personal, because that record popped up. I was like, no, but I can't be getting personal right now. So
I could have went to the documentary. Yeah, me going Kingdom Come would have been personal for me.
That's where I thought you should have gone, Mike, was the documentary record. What is it, track 8?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought about that. It's dope. But, I couldn't go away from his Jay-Z collaboration. You know what I mean?
Right. I dig it. But but you want to know what, though? When you threw the list up, I was like, and I was going through Havoc stuff, and I was like, this is almost always exclusive, like Queensbridge stuff. I was like, man. I was like, just as good. I was like, this is going to be tighter than I thought. I'm going to have to work to win this one. So it's like I worked to put this list together for sure.
I still think December 4th is a better song than Live Nigga Rap. I know you don't believe that. I think that, but I do. And I love Live Nigga Rap.
I don't think you believe that when you're saying it, Mike.
December 4th is great.
With my rap formula, style formulate, you pay about $500 a plate, no doubt, kid. I hit the niggas like a bid, the prosecutor.
The song is crazy, but I guess if we just talking about the beat, that's tough, man.
Nigga thinking shit sweet. I carry big heat, wavy hair, chip teeth. Up in this bitch deep, Queens murder clicks me. Yellow tape on black gates, Mediterranean projects is like Kuwait. I escape into zones. That's a regular. Why debate on the phone? I'm still a cellular. That's a boss 600. You just a crumb inside the world where the rich run it. Curriculum, mathologists.
You gonna make me go listen to live nigga rap after this show.
Right. Dynasties of great knowledges I preserve in my dome. Nick spots is like silicone spots blown. Gorilla ice on this killer's life. I put my word on it. Now you can sneak on his life with swerve on it. Nauseous, menage a trois, remounts and rebarges.
DJ Bruce Almighty said the chat was picking December 4th.
Oh, the chat was picking December 4th?
Look, this is what we'll do. Just like what we did with our great guys over at Rap Roundtable. We'll put some polls out from some of these songs. But as it stands, it looks like, Havoc might have won this by one.
No. This is what I said. I thought Havoc was going to win this emphatically, and it wasn't until I started digging into it. It was like, oh, no. I'm going to have to work for this. So much props to Just. We might need to put him, or at least me, I might need to put him a little bit higher up because he's got stuff that rocks with Havoc, and Havoc has made some of the best hip-hop stuff ever made. He made Quiet Storm, Sugar Ones, like, yeah, it's right there.
Point proven. That's all I wanted, man. We got to get some respect on Just Blaze's name.
Oh, no. I'm with you on that because here's the thing too. Like, part of me didn't even want to be unfair about it because of what. Hold on, there's a track that Mobb Deep co-produced with Q-Tip on here on the Infamous, but I didn't want to use it. Yeah, Temperatures Rising, and I love
Temperatures Rising. Is great.
Temperatures Rising is great, but that's Q-Tip co-produced by Mobb Deep. But that's the one that I wanted to use. But that's really Q-Tip's track, and you can tell.
Let me let's segue into this, right? Pusha T's coming out with his new album. He doesn't have a title yet, does he? No?
I think it's called It's Not Dry Yet.
It's coming. I feel like it's on the horizons. Probably not this week, maybe next week. I don't know. But he did reveal that Jay-Z is on the album. It's a Jay-Z collaboration.
Yeah. He said he did a few records.
I heard a little bit of a snippet of it. Split Spark says, according to Hip Hop, do the live stream poll. You know what? We'll do that next time. There's just so much going on in the show. We want to give everybody an opportunity to vote. And we should do the live stream polls though when we do these mock verses. That way we'll get some real data as we're going through.
Oh, we can learn and adapt and survive.
Yeah. We'll do that. But yeah. What did you think about the Jay-Z snippet you heard on Pusha T's project, and are you excited about it?
I told you I'm not excited.
You're not excited about Jay-Z and Pusha T jumping on the song together?
I mean, I am inherently, because the only time that we've heard it, the results I thought were pretty magnificent. I think the song Drug Dealers Anonymous is a really underrated record. Definitely would have been some icing on the cake had he just kind of thrown that on at the end of Daytona, just like on some go ahead and take that too. Finish the move type of stuff. But I'm just always a less is more guy when you're great. So much like Conway's track list didn't get me super excited, him running around saying I have album of the year multiple times over and over for months and months on end and saying, well, yeah, I got 3 records with Jay and one of them's going to make that. Like all that stuff doesn't excite me when it comes to these guys because part of what's exciting about these guys is just these guys. And so it's like I don't need to hear all that from these guys and I don't need to see it. I mean, that's just for me personally. And, if they deliver the goods, all for it. But what I would say is that usually when people got the goods, they usually don't talk about the goods.
No, really. Yeah.
Really.
All this talk about Pusha T's album from him is kind of making me worry a little bit as a Pusha T fan, right? Like, it's, like you said, normally when you're flowing like this, or when you're flowing like you need to, there's no time to talk about it. Because Daytona just happened. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it wasn't no talk about it really. It just happened. And it wasn't like, okay, I got 3 records with this person. When you start making multiple records, it kind of makes me worry.
So let me piggyback off of that briefly. And here's why it really made me worry as somebody who's really a big Pusha T fan. I remember when Hell Hath No Fury came out and they performed on 106 in Park. And they came out and Pusha was saying, we got the album of the year. And I was thinking, yes, say that right now live in front of this audience because nobody knows. he's not in this position anymore. It's not Hell Hath No Fury time. You just made Daytona. Like, you're Pusha T. You're the modern day Cool G Rap. You're the successor to Hove in this D-Boy talk. Like, you don't have to say anything. You just have to drop the project. That's what you did the last time. Like, this hit in 2006, going into 2007, Hell Hath No Fury time, where you got to tell people how great you are because they haven't recognized it yet. They haven't heard Keys Open Doors yet. Like I get it. Like, you're way past having to do any of that. So that's what makes me worry about it, because I know as a fan of his, I can remember the last time he talked like this. They did have the album of the year, but it needed to be said because nobody knew. Nobody needs to hear you say anything. It's like the records are going to be there or they're not going to be there.
No, I agree. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than the fact that I'm looking forward to it. But, I mean, what DeCarlo said in the chat was like, he's going to deliver, no doubt. And he hasn't really given me any inclination that, to doubt that. But at this point, man, I'm like, just drop the album, man. We're looking forward to it.
Right, because then, like, hey, KD3. That's all I got to say.
The Real said, new Daytona. He said, nah, Daytona, he was saying that he had album of the year. Was he saying that before it came out? Or was
I don't recall him saying that Too Heavy before it came out. I remember when Hell Hath No Fury came out, him saying we have the album of the year.
Now, I remember when Daytona came out and it was out there and it was received in the way that it was. Yeah, he was saying that because it was.
It was. And also, too, I mean, and I want to say this, not too many, like I said, not too many people have been part of a group that makes classic rap material. They can say that they made album of the year as a group.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like, Mobb Deep can't say that. Like I think Mobb Deep is greater all time than Eclipse, but Mobb Deep has never made the album of the year. Hell Hath No Fury was album of the year that year. Prodigy is a solo MC. You know how I feel about P. He never made anything.
You don't think that the Infamous is the album of the year contender for 95?
No. I said album of the year, not contender, because the Purple Tape came out in 95, so it's not album of the year. It would actually be probably number 2 or number 3 that year, in my opinion. I would probably put it at number 2. But it's not.
You put it above Me Against the World?
Yeah, I have Me Against the World as the 4th best album that year, just truthfully.
Okay.
Because Liquid Swords came out, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Purple Tape, Infamous.
Damn, Soul Food came out that year too.
Soul Food is number 5 on my list. Yep, just like that.
I truly believe that Soul Food is the 2nd best hip hop album to ever come out of the city of Atlanta, in my opinion.
There's a lot of evidence to that. A lot of evidence.
Listen, I think that the album's coming soon. Like you said, I'm not super hyped about collaborations because I like Pusha T alone, but it does make me worried to hear that there were 3 different Jay records, because it's like, what were wrong with them? And we know Jay as one of those MCs that doesn't really do things over and over and over again to get it right. This is one take Hove, you know what I'm saying? And so he's one of those guys that knows it's right when it's right, and he can spit his 16 and leave the booth in confidence knowing, yeah, I just dropped some shit. No. Not to mention the output that we were getting from him last year was less than stellar. Let's just be real.
Both of those things. So I want to go to something right quick that might seem a little funny, and we always end up preparing the guys. I can remember when Noriega was talking on his first album about how he had 3 tracks with Nas and how Columbia didn't let all the tracks slide through, but what we got was Body in the Trunk. And so what I am hoping is for some Body in the Trunk type of results, which they're capable of.
And I think when Jay raps with Pusha T,
pressure,
it's different for him. Because if we're talking about him rapping with Kanye, I think Kanye confuses Jay as an MC because it's like, you don't know what you're going to get, And I think there's a whole dynamic there that we'll probably talk a lot more about on Friday after you see the episode, that it's just one of those things that makes their chemistry unbalanced anyway. I'm going to say this real quick. They were going through different parts of the recording process of College Dropout. And they went to the Never Let Me Down part.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jay's nowhere to be found. this is during the time when Rockefeller was, holding the budget for Kanye due to the accident. And so it was just him and Ivy in there basically crafting that record. So obviously Jay stuff came after the fact. They didn't even show it. I don't even know if it's going to be on episode 3, but we all know that Jay gave him recycled verses from the Hovey Baby remix. And honestly, could have been some copy and paste stuff, really. And, and the fact that we couldn't even really tell lets you know that, Kanye's an amazing producer in that light. So with that being said, they never had chemistry from jump. So Jay's verse on Jail, it sounds just as erratic as their lack of chemistry has been over their whole duration. Jay and Drake, that was probably one of his best features last year, but it still was kind of, And the Sorry Not Sorry is forgettable. So I think with this Pusha T, it's not only an opportunity for Pusha T to have Jay on the record, but it's an opportunity for Jay to really get back in stride with an MC that can, get him in that chamber. That's why I also feel like he needs to be on that Benny album as well. And I believe he is.
Right.
Because Benny has made it very clear that he's in the Jay-Z business.
Right.
And 97 Hov. And it's only right, 25 years later, right? And we're talking about Volume 1 again. So I think Jay needs to be on this Pusha and this Benny. Air Pegasus says, Jay's verse on Jail was dope. Was it? Okay.
In relationship to who?
I think the Jail song was cool, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess
we're excited for Donda 2. I'm
excited for Donda 2.
Me too. I think my slavery claims have been heard.
The slavery claims.
Poor engineer. Set them free. Let them loose.
Let them loose. Well, you know what? We'll close the show out with this.
That's swamp things and alligators.
What did you think about that song, Not Atlanta? You said somebody texted you about it.
Yeah, I got a little message about it.
Okay, for the people who don't know, Amaretta the Great, rapper out of Atlanta, she made a song about the outer areas of the metro Atlanta sphere and was basically telling all the out-of-towners what parts of Atlanta or what you thought were Atlanta are not Atlanta. So, she called out College Park. College Park is not Atlanta. I think first of all, I want to say shout out to her and putting that song together. I think she was spitting, actually. And I think it's a creative concept that the city of Atlanta had been talking about for nearly 30 some odd years and no one's ever done it. So I give her props on that.
So this is the thing about it, and I'm going to give her some props too. I tell this to anybody that's ever come down here, that's thinking about moving down here. When they say, I want to move to Atlanta, I tell them, I said, the Atlanta that you were talking about is not exactly the city of Atlanta. I said is the Atlanta and the metropolitan areas surrounding Atlanta that you were talking about.
Definitely.
Period, point blank.
Well, see, that's the thing, though, right?
We're different than every other major city almost in that way. Every other major city, like, no, when you in LA, no, I'm like, you in LA, you might be in East LA, you might be in West LA, but you are in Los Angeles. Like, people do not understand. So I'm from Charlotte originally, but raised down here in Atlanta. The city of Charlotte is larger in size than the city of Atlanta, and it's not even comparable.
Yeah, Atlanta's metro heavy. And I tell everybody that. We're talking about like maybe 400,000 people in the city of Atlanta, but it's like 6 million in the metro area.
No, Mike. It's going on 11 million.
Is it that much now? That's crazy.
It's going on 11 million people in the metro area.
I technically live in Atlanta now. I pay Atlanta taxes, all that stuff, property tax, whatever. But I grew up.
Sorry to hear
that. Right. I grew up in, I went to Pebblebrook High School, and I grew up in Cobb, Mableton specifically. Shout out to everybody over there, which is like what? Yeah, West Side, which is like 10, 15 minutes from the city of Atlanta, but you know,
And,
when I
and
start traveling, I go to New York or whatever, and you know, holler at my friends up there. I tell them I'm from Mableton, they don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna say Atlanta. Like,
right.
it is
But
what it
okay.
is.
So let's go back to and have a little history lesson. When I moved back down here when I was 19, the guy who became my best friend is somebody who you grew up with and went to school with. Y'all are from the same area and same neighborhood. So
Yeah.
he's taking me through Mableton, i.e. the West Side, taking me to Bankhead Courts. Right. And all of that's considered Mableton, but it's really headed West Side, West End, Bankhead, right there on the line. And so when you're talking Mableton, people are like, oh, well, I don't know what that is. And you just say, oh, well, that's West Atlanta. And frame
Yeah,
of it
it
changes.
just makes sense. You know, the thing is, the city of Atlanta benefits from the metro area, and the metro area benefits from the city of Atlanta. So it's always been, you know, one, because if we want to be technical, that humongous airport that the city of Atlanta benefits from very much so is technically in College Park, or is it in Hapeville? One of
I'm
the
about to
two.
say
I think it's in
the
College Park,
it's
technically.
in College Park in terms of like how it's distributed on the like acreage and the grounds, but the actual central location mailing address is Hapeville. Most people don't even know what the hell Hapeville is. Say Hapeville, Georgia. Somebody that's not from here, they like, where is that? They think you're talking about down by Macon or something. You'd be like, no, right next to College Park, East Point, like by the airport.
Man, I thought I saw a $500 super chat. Oh, it's a $4 super chat from Brian. He said, I have a hip hop question. He said that, I have a hip hop question that I've been meaning to ask you guys longer than the $500 super chat. Is there a A2HH email address that I could send it to? Yeah, send it to info at according to hip hop. Again, info at according, the number 2 hip hop.com.
Correct.
Yeah, info at accordingtohiphop.com. Yes. Anyway, yeah, so we'll be looking for that. And honestly, there's I think in our About section on the YouTube channel, there's a link for the email address, so you can click that. But yeah, I think that all the outer areas benefit from the city of Atlanta and vice versa. But I get it. It was always one of those things when I was in school where it was like, people who went to Atlanta public school, you know, they let it be known. I'm from Atlanta, you not from Atlanta type thing.
Right. So here's the thing with that, Mike. The time that I spent down here, I started off on Piedmont Road and then to Claremont Road. That's Atlanta. But then we went to the east side. We went to Decatur and Lithonia. You gonna tell me I'm not from Atlanta? We gonna box up in here. You feel me? You feel me?
Yeah, man. I mean, we've been through all parts of Atlanta and all of that, and I think it's a real interesting discussion.
Right.
It's interesting to me that people are still having that discussion, especially the fact that we've gotten to the point now in Atlanta where the Atlanta Braves are playing in Cobb County.
Man, I learned how to shoot dice in Redan Middle School in 6th grade. You better watch your tone if you tell me I'm not from Atlanta.
I mean, you know, like I said, it is what it is, man. I think that it's a cool discussion and all that, but, you know, it's all Atlanta. And I just think that that's a really, really dope concept. It kind of reminds me of like some Roxanne Shante thing where I feel like we might get some responses on some local shit. You know, so I think it's cool. But, you know, everybody be careful out there. You know, some people take stuff like this really serious.
Zones are not to be played with.
Yeah, man. And I'm hearing that a lot of other rappers in Atlanta are responding too, like the ones that are pretty well known from certain parts. But, I mean, man, rep your city. It's cool. And I do get where some people are coming from. Some people that are from Atlanta, they're like, look, if you're from Marietta, rep Marietta. I get that. But the thing is, man, it becomes a, you know what, it kind of becomes a haves and have-not conversation too. Because I think that's where she was coming from with her delivery in the verse. And maybe that's a whole nother conversation when she's talking about being in the trenches in Atlanta and certain people in the suburbs didn't have to deal with that.
No, that right there, those are big facts. So if you want to speak to that, then speak to that. But also, too, Mike, as somebody that's lived in almost every zone in this city as a child and then as an adult, like, don't think that there's not action everywhere.
I was going to say,
I'll take you to every part of this city and metropolitan area and take you somewhere that'll make you extremely uncomfortable immediately.
Well, see, I don't like that whole thing too, where it's like, pretty much punishing certain people for not being in the trenches when their
Right.
parents were able to get them out. I mean,
I was about to say,
you made a conscious effort and you worked very hard to get to the place where you're at so that your daughter doesn't have to grow up in a certain area.
That's what I was
So
about to
somebody
say.
gonna sit here and talk down because of that? I think that's backwards, honestly.
No. There is some backwardness to it because I thought about my own personal situation and how I remind my daughter of like the humble beginnings
Hmm.
that I come from, but also how hard that I've worked to make sure that she doesn't have to subject herself
Exactly.
to some of the things that I had to subject myself to. Why would I want to subject my child to more trauma for street credibility for people that ain't about to carry her casket properly?
What Andre say? I thought the name of the game was to have a better life. If it ain't, what a shame. Guess
Right.
it's not. What a shame, right?
I know they want to travel and move out of this country. I ain't trying to have her hanging in the streets with you. Like she wants to go see the world and travel and start her own businesses. You think I want her in some trenches? How's she gonna do that in the trenches? I got my ass in the trenches, so she didn't have to do that. Sounds crazy.
You're a kid. You shouldn't be in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? You should be in the best school districts possible, right?
Right. Getting this dope
Leroy
ass-
Green says, "Stop, Mike. Stop what?"
Leroy just
Stop.
look, Leroy just hadn't had a reason to go off on us today.
Right, because I'm praising Jay-Z. I was sitting
You
here
wanna know
taking
what?
Just Blaze.
I like how steady Leroy is because Leroy gonna show up and give it to us, Mike.
Leroy works for Rock Nation. Leroy, let us know what the luncheons is like, because we're not getting the invite.
Man, I just put my pink polo in the cleaners. I was no. Okay.
I bet Kanye will invite us to his luncheon if he has one.
But he won't be having luncheons, will he?
He having Black Future Month.
Right. He be having some other shit.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to the new
I invited
music.
us to Wyoming to the ranch, maybe.
I don't think he's in the ranch anymore. I think he moved away from that.
I think he owns the acreage there, though. He owns something like an absurd amount of acreage there. So
I think he sold it. I don't know.
really, so the acreage. Okay.
Think so. Flip that real quick. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the new music on Friday. Conway the Machine's dropping his last Shady Records album. And yeah, we're going to talk about episode 2. I was going to say, make sure you view that and check it out because I think there's a lot to cover there. I was going to ask you, and that's why I kind of misspoke. I was going to ask you, you think we need to talk about this Bel Air show that Will Smith is behind?
I haven't watched anything. I've been getting a lot of like footnotes and cliff notes about the realness of it.
It's very, it's a lot of hip hop involved in it. And again, like I said, with Will Smith
there
behind
is?
it, as far as like the music that's being played, the soundtrack has a lot. I mean, it starts off with What We Do Is Wrong. It really shows Philly a lot of light on the hip hop level. It's interesting, man. I saw episode 1, so I don't know. Maybe that's something to talk
It's like
about.
modern day Bel Air, where it's like they know OJ did it and all that right up the street. Is that what we're dealing with?
OJ didn't do anything. He didn't. He was found not guilty. He didn't do anything.
Can I tell you one of the most uncomfortable moments in my life? I was wearing an OJ throwback jersey and ran into some to the neighbors of Nicole Brown Simpson when I lived out in Cali.
Damn.
I ran into the neighbors on a Saturday when I was wearing an OJ USC throwback jersey in Orange County, California. True story. All right.
Well, on that note, we can get up out of here.
Shit. All right.
Listen, man, I'm gonna respect the verdict. I'm gonna respect the verdict.
That's cool. Been whooping ass since 1977, but whatever.
Sophia S says, my mom doesn't think he's guilty either, Mike. What the M. Lynette said, I've seen 4 episodes and it's really good. It is good.
Hey.
It's good. It's different though. The thing is, and what me and Dana was saying, it's like we're so used to the Fresh Prince being a comedy. And this is more of a drama. And it's like,
I didn't know that.
It's very interesting.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they made
darker tones to it.
I had no idea. That would explain the realness. I didn't know it was a drama. I didn't know.
But people like it. I'm undecided. I'm one episode in. Maybe I'll watch all 4 episodes, but I do want to see the next couple episodes. So
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, and we could talk about it Friday because I think that's hip hop, right? That's hip hop oriented.
Yeah, Will Smith.
Okay.
I keep trying to tell people Will Smith is the author of 2 of the greatest 50 hip hop songs ever. He's the first person to win a Grammy in this culture.
He's the author? Okay. Okay. You know, I listened to Get Jiggy with it the other day.
Not this late. It's too late in this show.
I listened to Get Jiggy with it the other day. I think that's his second best song, in my opinion.
No, parents just don't understand it's the second best song after Summertime, then Miami, and then I'm going to hit you with something like Switch. His delivery on Switch is top.
No. My top 3 Will Smith songs, Summertime definitely, Get Jiggy with it number 2, and I'm going Brand New Funk number 3.
Maybe Brand New Funk. I can get with that. Well, what's the other one?
Nas wrote Get Jiggy with it, right?
He wrote Miami.
I think Nas said he was in the studio with him when he made Get Jiggy with it, and he didn't write it. Some weird story. Like, why is Nas sitting in the studio with Will Smith while he's recording Get Jiggy with it?
Because he's probably writing that too, Mike. But I mean, like, whatever. Like, ain't no
yeah,
point
just like Rakim didn't write Summertime. I get it, guys.
And Will Smith still belongs to this culture, so we can talk about,
I love Will. I think that, his impact and what he's done for this culture is something different. But, Summertime was such a one-off thing to be such a great record. You're telling me you never rapped like that before and never rapped like that after? I know Rakim said he didn't write it, and if Rakim said he didn't write it, he didn't write it, Before we get out of here, we got one more super chat. James Thompson says, shout out to James Thompson for the $5. Appreciate that. He said, give KRS-One some love. His new album is fire. Okay, we'll give KRS some love. We'll talk about that Friday, too.
I've been hearing that his new album is fire, and I do need to check it out.
We will give KRS some love. We appreciate that, and the super chat. And we will holler at you guys Friday. Appreciate y'all participation on the mock Verzuz, and we're going to throw some polls up there, too.
Yeah, see what it do.